Did you just burp? Did you just burp? You're just like, mommy, huh? He's like, mommy, huh? Alright. Go lay down. Good boy. Good boy. You're such a good boy.
Oh, you're so fucking cute, I can't.
Get him live. Oh my god. YBZ, my throat is actually killing me. I don't remember screaming that loud. Oh, that's a dumpster. I don't remember screaming that loud, but I broke a nail. Shit. Maybe I have to go this way. Bye-bye. I finally threw away this stupid doll. Finally, you've had it for like 2 minutes. Come home. Oh my god. Tell me Mr. Demon Man. He's got a link in the basement. Yeah, it's called My Butt's Leaking. Oh my god. Can you not meow at a time like this? God. Oh no, my mustache. Ah! The illusion is shattered! How much? Oh my god! Hi! Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, my dudes. Also, I'm so sorry for Jackie and Raven for your resubs. I was recording YouTube videos and I forgot that I turned my alert box off, so sorry. They did go through. I think my camera's off. Hold on. Oh, no, I mean, not off. It's different. Yeah. There we go. Sorry. I gotta do that every time I restart my PC. Alright. Who is first today? Yummy first. No uddlies. Not first. Jackie! Jackie, thank you for the 10 monthlies. Enjoy your 90. Count them. Your 90 emotes, your ad-free viewing, and your sub badge. Max, mwah, Mr. Prowler, mwah, Ren, mwah, Raven! Raven, thank you for the 35 months. Almost 3 years. What the hell? Thank you so much. Enjoy your 90. Count them. Your 90 emotes, your ad-free viewing, and your sub badge. And we're almost at a hype train. 2 seconds into stream. What is happening? Max, thank you for the 20 stream streak. Supernova, mwah, Jackie, mwah. What's up, Alex? What's up, Supernova? What's up, Max? Hi, Max's niece. Garrett Dairy Queen? Absolutely get Dairy Queen. I think getting Dairy Queen is a smart thing to do. Hi, Mr. Joe Pickles. Wait, birthday today? Or was birthday the day before? Is it birthday today? I don't remember. I'm sorry. Is it today? Life Unity! Mwah! Like with the forehead kissy. I can't remember if your birthday was the day before yesterday or today. PP! Max, you have the penis of the day. Congratulations. Happy Jason Day! Whom stole it first? It was Yummy! Dill Pickles! Everyone say happy birthday to Mr. Dill Pickles right now. It is officially Mr. Dill Pickles' birthday. Hi, Life Unity. Hi, Dangos. Hi, Alex. Dangos. Mwah. Koala T. Mwah. Think with the forehead kisses. Oh, Supernova has pee-pee. Pee-pee the day. 22 inches. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Ren, you never have to apologize. You guys are following me and hanging out with me and all that stuff. Like, you guys never have to apologize. Thank you guys for telling Mr. Dill Pickle happy birthday. Raven! Raven, thank you for getting a sub to M-Rat. Emrat. Enjoy your 90. Count them. Your 90 emotes ad-free view and your sub badge. Did alert go off? Do I have my alerts off? Fudge. I might still have my alerts off. Do I? I don't remember. I don't know. No, they're on. Okay. Oh, you can't trigger the hype train because you already participated, because your resub was part of the hype train. So you and Jackie can't do the hype train because Jackie's resub and your resub were parts of the original hype train, so it has to be like 3 different people. I'm sorry, but thanks for the resub, or thanks for the subby. That's very sweet. Someone wanna do something and then Raven doesn't have to waste a sub? You guys don't have to. But if anyone has a Prime, Primes are free. Primes are very free. Cool Cam, mwah. Hi Jinx, spoiler, mwah. Kaya, mwah. Nutmeg, mwah. Jinx, mwah. True Shinobi, mwah. Dangos, thank you for the 115. Danger Dan, mwah. Thank you guys so much for the 4 hit kisses. Cool Cam, thank you for the 60 stream streak. There it is, Supernova. Thank you so much for making sure that Raw Raven's gift sub was on vain. That is so sweet of you. Jojo! Thank you so much, Supernova. This is very sweet of you. You guys didn't have to do that. But Jackie, Raven, and Supernova, thank you very much for starting a hype train. Also, I forgot to get G Fuel today, so I might have to get a canned can of G Fuel. I've been so busy. It's been a very, 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 very busy day. It is my pickle bottle, pickle juice bottle. Hi, Reaper Buddy. Oh, man. I have uploaded so many YouTube videos today. I can't even keep track of how much stuff I've uploaded today. Let's see. What do I want to make for my pinned comment of the day? Your channel. No, I want more videos, yeah. I'm proud of you. Thank you. I got like no sleep. No sleep. Cause I couldn't sleep. I was so tired but couldn't sleep, you know? And so I was up all night playing Heroes of Might and Magic. And then it was like 5 a.m. I was like, oh shit, I should probably go to sleep because I have my alarm set for 9 a.m. because I wanted to start like recording as soon as the PTB started. Not that it started at 9 a.m., but 9 a.m. gives me time to walk my dogs, feed my dogs, and I don't know, press snooze twice, which I absolutely did. I pressed snooze twice, walked my dogs, fed my dogs, and by the time I got down here, I had to wait like 2 minutes for the PTB to get ready. Really, Prowler? I can't wait. I've only did like custom game stuff. I didn't actually like get into a game with him. Let's see. What should I do for my pinned comment of the day? Uploaded a ton of Jason videos on YouTube. Please please watch, like, and comment if you have the time. PixelxKitten. I think I'll just like link my channel. I think that'll be easy. No, I'll just do. I'll do this video. Yeah. Yeah. Is it hot as fuck for you too? Well, you are here, so yes. Yeah, it's like mid-80s for me. My AC has been cranking, unfortunately. Ooh, because it's gonna be so expensive. It's fine. It's fine. Sweetie! And I will like it. Oh no. Don't shove your bits down my throat. I'm joking. I'm sorry. Is it weird? I'm sorry. I'm streaming on Tuesday, so it's weird for me. Panda Monster. Like with a forehead QC. Yeah, Mr. Prowler, did you see my video that I posted yesterday? We got early access as a DBD creator. So I got to see all that shit. I got to see all that. Good evening. Afternoon, evening. Sweetie. Thank you for the forehead kissy. I want to turn off some of my channel points today. Sorry, homies. Let's pause that. 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 I'm just gonna pause everything just because I'm just doing PTB stuff, you know. What was that sound? What was weird? Hi, Astro! Astro, happy Tuesday. We'll keep that on. Keep that on. Stretch is always good. Stretches always make me happy. Oh, hello. Hey, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Oh, it's Spotify. That's what that sound was. Well, I did not like that sound. We're skipping that song. Thank you for the follow. I do have anonymous follows on, but I see you, and I appreciate you. I want to stop treats because it's the middle of the day for them. And I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with that. And if anything else that I just don't feel like doing today, then I'll just refund it. New day. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy, and thank you for the 10 stream streak. Duncan, mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Oh, Reaper Buddy, I don't think I got yours. Mwah. I don't think I got your kissy. Thank you so much for the hype train. Yeah, as a iridescent DBD creator, we got early access to the Jason stuff and uploaded TikTok, Instagram, YouTube video of that yesterday, and then PTB is oop. Cass, mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Good morning. So, did you mean to do that? Did you mean to do that? 6 months in advance? This is a really awkward time to tell you this is my last day of streaming, huh? That's crazy! Cass, thank you for the 6 months in advance. What the fudge? Enjoy your 90? Count them. Your 90 emotes, your ad-free view, and your sub badge. What the fudge? Thank you so much. Can we get some hype in the chat? That was crazy. Thank you so much. What's PTB stand for? Playable Test Beta. Playable Test Beta. Shut up and take my money. Keep talking to me like that. Maybe I... Shut the fuck up. Why PC? Mwah. Little gone. Mwah. Ignore the forehead kiss bees. Oh, public test build? Actually, that's what it stands for. I said playable test beta. Playable test beta. Yeah, it stands for public test build. Don't listen to me. I'm an iridescent DBD creator. And I was wrong. It's public test build. 6 to 1, half a dozen to another. Master of puns. Mwah. Think with the forehead kiss. Yeah, 6 to 1, half a dozen to another, right? It's tomato, tomato, right? Has anybody done any of the PTB stuff yet? I have been doing PTB stuff all day, man. To the point where I almost canceled stream today because I was like, I'm tired of looking at Jason already. Like, I'm just like, staring at him because I've done so much editing since 10 a.m. this morning till 2 p.m., which is what, 4 hours? 4 hours of filming and editing and posting, filming, editing, posting, which it doesn't sound like a lot, but I got like no sleep. And now we just work. I'm not complaining. I'm just tired. Moon quartz. I think with the forehead kissy. Oh, the stream might lag for a second. I've been shaving myself. You're so cute. Okay, moon quartz. I thought the exclamation point was a T, and I read that as read that as I'm proud of you. Thought. Just so you know, and you are the only, like, one of the very few people that would be able to get away with calling me that. By the way, you are one of the very few people that could get away with calling me that. That's very funny. Thank you for that. I wish Rutsy was here for that. I'm watching my niece. I know when her parents are gonna be home from work. Oh, so it's just like surprise babysitting. I'm here to say that the PTB was pet this pussy. Why busy? Happy Jason Day! I couldn't decide if I wanted to wear a Dead by Daylight shirt today or a Jason shirt today, so I decided Dead by Daylight shirt today and then Jason shirt when he officially comes out. Yeah, and Spage! Mwah, mwah. Thank you for the forehead kisses. What's up, Makuno Garden? Yo, happy Tuesday. Oh my god, Max. It's a long time to be hanging out with a child. I know it's like your family, so it's different. Sorry, there's so much like cat hair in my mouth. Sorry, I was eating some pussy earlier. Okay, get this off my lipstick. It's, ugh. I'm about to take off. Oh, I think I got it. Sorry. Sorry. I'm way too autistic to have cat hair stuck on my lips. That's why, like, I don't wear my lip gloss very often. Is because I hate when, like, the pussy hair gets stuck on my lips. Try hanging out with them 24 hours a day. Pussies or children? I know you meant children. I gotta make a joke once in a while. Live easy. I love it. I loved it very much. What did you call it again? Pet this pussy. That was very funny. Hi, Irish Queen! Did I completely smudge my lippy? Just don't look. Just don't look at me, guys. Don't look at me! Hasn't been that for a while. Oh, good, Max. My flower bloomed! That's what she said. I missed the pussy part. I was mentioning about how I was hanging out with pussies all day. Irish Queen, I don't know. It's pretty par for the course, right? Oh, that's funny. I'll be here later. Are you live right now? They are! I knew it! I knew it! Everybody go watch Space System instead of me. Hi, Charlie! Don't act like you're just so scared. Alright. Oh! I know what G Fuel we're drinking today. Let's go! We're gonna drink some G Fuel Hack and Slash! I think it's only appropriate. We got Jason in the PTB. Let's go! Let's go! Hack and Slash. Hell yeah. This can is so beautiful too. Ugh. Guys, use code KITTEN for 30% off G Fuel. Oh, Raven. Raven, you're having a day today. Oh! 67! The only way to drink Jason. I can think of another way. I'm sorry. I'm streaming at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I didn't get a lot of sleep, and it's a Tuesday. It's my day off. I'm sorry. Hi, Sushi Guy! Came in. Mwah, they were the forehead kissy. I'm so sorry, guys. It's gonna be like this all day today. Sorry, YouTube. So sorry. Whew. Sushi Guy. Mwah, they were the forehead kissy. You're not sorry. I'm a little sorry. I'm a little sorry. It's a little chilly on a Tuesday. Oh, you know, I was hoping that wouldn't happen. Because sometimes, like, the cans, like, splooge. You know? Damn it. Splooged all over you guys. That's right, I'll just slurp it out. Oh my god, that'd be so disgusting. I've had that same microphone since, like, 2021. That'd be so gross. I know, Sushi Guy. You are to 67 as to Raven is to Blights. Alright. So, spoiler alert. I know, Irish Queen. I wanted to get on early today because I got a lot of stuff I gotta do tonight. And yeah, I just wanted to do PTB things early. It's probably gonna be a short stream. Like, I'm thinking maybe 2 hours, maybe. Unless you guys make me fall in love with you, and I'll stay a little bit longer, but we'll see. G feels splooge on us. You like that one? Yeah. But I'm being obnoxious, and the male cat we got is glaring at me. Good. You put that cat in his place. I mean, what? Can you open B like that? Also, do you guys like my new DBD creator with, like, the Jason logo? It's so cute. I love it. So I'm gonna pretend like you guys haven't seen anything. And so I think we'll go to the store first, and I'll show you guys his cosmetics. I'm gonna pretend like you guys haven't watched my YouTube videos yet. I'm joking. You guys can. Pin comment. But we're gonna look at some of his cosmetics. If there's anything specific that you guys want to see, let me know. I've looked at almost everything. I just haven't done much gameplay of him. So yeah, but if there's anything specific that you guys want to see, you want me to go back and look at something, let me know. This stream, for all intents and purposes, is for you guys. Like, you guys tell me what to do. this is part of his outfits. All of his outfits at the moment, I'm not sure if this will change post PTB. Hi, Ray. Show the butt. Anything for you, Max. There you go. There you go. Oh, here. I don't know if there's... Oh, here we go. There you go. There is a booty. Little pancakey, but that's all right. Nothing wrong with slapping a pancake. But Ray, I hope you're doing so good. Daddy. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kiss. Also, I'm so sorry if I have missed anybody's messages or kisses or anything like that. Please let me know. Scrumptious. All right, Max. Listen, I'm not gonna freak your funk. Funk your freak. But what was I gonna say? I don't remember. Oh, so at the moment, none of these are linked. So you can actually, like, use, like, this head, the regular body, and then, like, his shovel. Like, so at the moment, they're not linked. And I think that's pretty cool. I'm thinking we see the Mori really quickly. Has anyone seen the Mori yet? One's if you have seen it, like, yes, you've seen the Mori. Two's if you haven't seen it yet. I want to know what we're doing here. Jello and Shabby. Mwah, mwah. Thank you for the forehead kisses. Oh, it's nice. Yeah. His is very satisfying with Jason. BJA. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. All right, so Shabby hasn't seen it. Supernova's seen it. I'm wonderful. The fiance is making sesame chicken and got me a Diet Coke. Oh, so you're set. Yeah, you're good. Shabby! Shabby, thank you for the 95 stream streak. Oh, what the hell? Let me change while you guys are voting, telling me if you guys have seen the Mori or not. One's if you've seen it. Two's if you have not seen it. I'm going to change my guffle today. Is Jason Voorhees hack in slash. There you go. Oh, can. There you go. So one's if you've seen it, two's if you haven't. Two. Oh wow, some of you guys. Wow, you guys haven't. Okay, cool. I'm doing all right, BJA. BJA, how are you doing? Happy Tuesday, Marshmallow. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kiss. What's up, Paul? Sheen what? The Mori. Leon's moans. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Yes, he does have multiple Moris. He has one Mori and two mini Moris. And I'll show you guys all of them. It is in my YouTube video, the one that's pinned, if you guys want to see it, like, right now. Because it's going to, like, take time for me to get to it. But if you guys don't mind waiting, I'll get to them for sure. Oh, Max. That's something. All right. Here is El More. I'm not sure which survivor. It might be a Quante Young, because I think he was the last survivor I did the YouTube video for. So here's the Mori. Oh, it's Dustin. Sorry, Dustin. There's no audio. I forgot. Sorry. I have the audio on a different browser source. I'll do it again. I'll do it again, guys. I'm sorry. I forgot I didn't have the audio on the right browser source. I'm gonna do a different survivor anyway. Here. This is for, Raven. Let's do this. I wonder if it'll keep it now that I'm here. Nah, it's on Dustin. R.I.P. Dustin! Dang! I know. You're amazing, Paul. No, you. Also, hi, I'm Fonz. I don't know if I said hello to you today. I hope I did. What's up, Brendan? R.I.P. And if you guys want me to kill a certain survivor, I actually have a YouTube video where I moried 69 survivors. So if you guys want to see a certain survivor, go watch my YouTube video. Let's do... I'm gonna try loading up in in an actual game, or should I just do custom? I don't know. I might do custom. Let's do custom, because I think it's gonna be kind of a long wait. Oh, wrong one. Hi, Mucky. Alright. And then his perks. Oh, there's some survivors too, Raven, where the disemboweled intestines seem like they're like a separate entity from the survivor, so they like move separately as he like throws them on the floor. It's really funny. There's a couple people in the video. There's a couple of people in the video of me going over all the like the 69 survivors, which is so funny that there were 69 of them. That like they travel separately from each other. It's like it looks so funny. Dragon, enjoy your lucky turkey. The perks are pretty nice. I haven't looked much at the survivor perks, but here are the killer perks. Some of them are pretty nice. I'm actually one of them. One of them is really nice. Okay, Hex scared to death. After you hook 3 different survivors, a dull totem ignites. While chasing a survivor, whenever you basic break a pallet, survivors within 13 meters, there's a pattern here with all of his stuff. Everything has 13 in it. It's great. Survivors within 13 meters scream and gain the 13% hindered for 3 seconds. Girl, am I the only one here? Bitch. Girl, am I the only one here? As my main thing, like in my YouTube stream, it says live on Twitch. Yes, there's gonna be a non-licensed survivor. You sense deja vu. With whom, Mystic? Oh, I hope work's going very well, Dragon. I'm sorry if I missed anyone's messages, except for YouTube chat. Fuck you. Oh, 13. Okay, sorry. I thought you meant like with another killer's powers. Jade, thank you for the kissy. Mwah. Also, I just saw the follow we got 3 minutes ago. Mods, do you see that follow from 3 minutes? We have anonymous follows on, so I'm not going to read the name. But mods can see it, and it's very, very funny. When was this account made? Account created. Oh, December 6th, 2016. Damn! Not even a new account. Also, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. I do have anonymous follows on, but I see you, and I appreciate you. Welcome in. I hope this person chats because they have a really funny username. But Jade, I hope you're doing so good. Here's the next perk. Rampage. Whenever you basic break a pallet or breakable wall, you earn 1 token up to 13. Whenever you are blinded or pallet stunned for the next 13 seconds, you gain 1% haste for each token. Cooldown 20. Watching from the bedroom! Hey, welcome in! It's not just a username that I've had forever. It's a lifestyle. Welcome in. I love your username. It was very funny. I hope your toilet time is going well. I've been in a manic clean episode! Jade! I've been in a manic editing episode today. I've been wanting to clean, but I might have to wait for that for like tomorrow, Thursday. I know that's the name. I know. That's what I hate about being like anonymous follows, even though I love it. 99% of the time I love having anonymous follows, but the 1% of the time when there's someone has like a really funny username and I can't say because I want to wait until like they say something. Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you, bathroom. I love you, bathroom. But yeah, Rampage is awesome. I think this is gonna be really cool. 12 out of 10 username. 67 out of 10. A. Or 13 out of 10 because we're playing Jason. Why do you look so angry? But Jade, I'm very proud of you. So whenever you basic break a pallet or break a wall, so basic break, which means no like perks, no breaking it with perks or anything, you earn 1 token up to 13. Whenever you are blinded or pallet stunned for the next 13 seconds, you gain 1% haste for each token. That is so cool. That's so cool. I use brutal strength a lot. And so I think I would use Rampage and Brutal Strength. If you need recommendations of bidet! I don't work for a big bidet, though. I can't tell if that's a joke or not. But one of my old friends actually bought me, like, or gifted me, like, a bidet, like, insert. Like, you add it, like, this, like, bidet, like, insert that you add to your toilet. It's been sitting in my closet for, like, 4 years, and I still haven't put it on my toilet yet. I really want to, though. I just haven't done it. Photo Rose, mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. 150 kisses. Oh, the bidet, yeah. It will change your life, really? Do not insert the bidet. I'm not gonna insert it, you know? You can re-roll your vibe. I just don't know how they work. Well, basically, they... God, how messy do I want to be today? I don't want to do it. I was gonna like squirt water on my mouth, but I'm just like, I have too much like expensive technology here. I don't think I want to do it. I was gonna drink some water and just spit it out. Oh, that's. I mean, I'm sure there's some people that don't know what a bidet is. Also, constant panic. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. I just don't know how they work. Oh, like with the plumbing. Ghost Gremlins! Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. I want them dead. I want them all dead. What's up, Pally? Pally, you were so hot and tall and talented and handsome. I'm so proud of you. You know that? For everything. Don't ask me why. Just yes. Bidet command when? Oh, what is it gonna say? Just like water squirting emotes? Yeah, Rampage sounds awesome. Guys, everybody go tell Pally how hot and tall and talented and handsome he is. Pally, you streaming today? Pally. We also have Silent Shadow. When the trial starts, you gain undetectable for 13 seconds or until you down a survivor. When all generators are completed, you gain undetectable. Now the thing is, that doesn't say how long you gain undetectable for when all generators are completed. It just says you gain undetectable. I'm not sure if it's like, if I'm too autistic and it's like, well, clearly you gain it for 13 seconds because that's how you, that's how many seconds it was for the first one. But I feel like because it's a different stipulation that it should say for how long. It just says you gain undetectable. So like say I had Silent Shadow and Noed, would I be 4% faster? Or is it what's the faster what's the haste for Noed? But so you'd have Noed, so you have the haste, you have the one hit down and you're undetectable? For like ever, you know? Tinfoil hat, tell me everything. Imagine a bidet channel point redeem where you have to stop everything and squirt water all over your mouth. Oh my god. You know what? I would probably use one of the new things, Raven, where someone could redeem it with like bits. Because like there's like new channel points, but you redeem it with bits. So like 1,000 bits, and I will put some water in my mouth and I'll squirt it at my cat or something. You're a new maid, as you should be. Oh, right? The Gremlins, there's a lot of speculation. I saw Lily the Graves had a good speculation. Whoa, what's up, Kyle? Kyle, how you doing? Silent Shadow and Endgame? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That'd be so fun. Poor Jasper. He deserves it. Trust, it's okay. He deserves that. The add-ons are really cool. There's one add-on that I really, really like. I think it was this one. Okay. Well, I'll just read them all. I do have a YouTube video uploaded right now. 2 of them, actually. I have 2 YouTube videos uploaded already of me just hovering over each add-on and no voiceover because some people just don't like voices, and I'm like one of those people. I like to watch videos that have no voices sometimes. And then I have that video uploaded, and then I have another video uploaded of me reading every single add-on. I'm gonna read them again because we're here, and but if you guys want to watch my YouTube video, that'll help me a lot. I'm going to keep pushing and annoying you guys on my YouTube. Please watch my YouTube. You have therapy an hour! But we're already here. And probably should have skipped it for my week off. Oh, but better stay in the habit. That's fair. I feel like you'd regret it if you didn't go, right? But, yeah. I'm really happy you have the week off, though, Kyle. That's awesome. Me next? Oh, squirt the water at you? Thanks for telling the mods how pretty they are, Moon Courts. You're pretty, too. Jason's fun to play as. A bit of a learning curve, but it's so fun. Chill, I can't wait. I haven't done any gameplay of him yet, but we will in a second. What's up, Taser? Alright. My voice is gonna be so shot. I have been filming so much videos today. So we're gonna be doing a lot of reading. Alright. I'm only gonna read these once on stream. If anyone comes in later and wants me to read, the add-ons, I'm gonna send them to my YouTube video. In the Slasher bio, it's mentioned that he fought the Unknown in Greenville, which is where Michaela, Sable, and Unknown is from. Yeah, that's exactly what Lily had posted, I saw. And a lot of people are speculating it's going to be Julian. The recent lore drops is centered around Michaela, Sable, and Julian. Michaela's bestie from her lore where she had the tome. I'm thinking the new Survivor might be Julian as a full circle story. That's what a lot of people I've been seeing are saying on Twitter. And I think that'd be awesome because it is, as far as we know, an unlicensed Survivor. We do know their perks, though. Gremlins, did you look at the perks? So I don't know anything about Juliana's story besides what you guys have told me, like, yesterday and today. Do the perks, like the life perk and whatever other perks, I can't remember, do they fit Julian's lore? You guys would know better than I would. Because the only stuff I know about Julian is what you guys have told me yesterday and today. Hi, Peanut Kitty! Peanut Kitty, happy Tuesday. Be the guy who pretended to be Jason Mewes in the Freddy vs. Jason movie. Man, I watched Freddy vs. Jason when it first came out and not one since. I need to watch all the Jason movies. Yeah, that's why I'm gonna do a custom game. I'm in a custom lobby right now. Because I knew the lobbies are gonna be yikes, you know what I mean? Alright, so let's read some of the add-ons. Can be absolute game changer. Which one do you think is that, Chella? Oh, Jay and Silent Bob! Oh, cool, okay. Dirty Money. Gain 2 tokens whenever a generator is completed. If you are not holding a spike when vaulting a window or breaking a pallet, immediately spend a token and gain a spike. Which is pretty cool. Now, the spikes are pretty generously scattered across the map in scrap piles, or you can just walk past a hook and pick it up from a hook as well. But it is kind of nice to just have one, like, in your back pocket, kind of like a flashbang kind of thing, where you just, like, go to locker, clicky, but you don't need to do that. You just consume a token, which is pretty cool. And it doesn't look like there's, like, a max tokens that you can have at the moment. It's just however many generators there are, so I guess you could have max 10 tokens, I suppose. I got the Ooh and Emo is update excitement. What is that? Ooh and Emo is update. What do you mean? I've read the perks and it sounds like they would fit. While he was alternative, he wasn't as into the occult stuff as what Michaela and Sable, so it could go either way. Okay, cool. Okay, I don't remember the names, Chill. I'm gonna have to reread them. But that's the first one. That's the first iridescent one. And then we have iridescent boat motor. Passing through windows while in omnipresent evil mode marks them for 13 seconds. When you perform a jump scare, all marked windows become blocked for 5 seconds. That's cool. Bloody Magazine. When a hook spike misses, all survivors within 13 meters of the impact scream and reveal their auras for 3 seconds. That could be really nice, especially if, like, you're towards, like, endgame and people are hiding or something like that. And you just, like, start throwing random spikes just to see, like, where your survivors are. That could be really fun for that. Oh, like, you updated an emo? Oh, I see. Well, that's cool. I like the purple tongue. Burnt Fuse. While a survivor is impaled and for 5 seconds after they extract the spike, the exit gates are blocked for them and any survivors within 13 meters. So it's kind of like, the one Spring Trap perk add-on. That one. That's a cool fuse. It is cool. What is the Spring Trap add-on with the X or whatever? Deputy's Badge. See the repair progress of generators while in omnipresent evil mode. Decreases the movement speed of omnipresent evil by 25%. You do kind of zoom in. It's kind of like Spirit. He's kind of like a Spirit Spring Trap, like, hybrid, I suppose. Loop back! Thank you! Oh, see, this is why you're my favorite, Shabby. Missing Corkscrew. Gain undetectable from the time a survivor is impaled to 13 seconds after they extract the spike. Hold on, I'm gonna see something real quick. Okay. I'm trying to see something. Let's see. Oh, here we go. I goop. Gain undetectable for 9 seconds after grabbing a hook spike. I love this one. I think I might use this one a lot. Okay. I'm just trying to hear something, sorry. Does someone mind going to my YouTube live stream? Can you guys tell me if you can hear game audio? Does someone mind just, like, really quickly just going into the stream and just seeing if you can hear the game audio? Por favor. So sorry to ask, lovelies. Imprinted aluminum, or aluminium for my UK friends. Injuring a healthy survivor with a spike inflicts the mangled and hemorrhage status effect for 70 seconds. So, that's kind of crazy, too. Mirror shards. Impaled survivors become broken for 30 seconds after extracting the spike. Yes, we can. Thank you, moon quartz. You hear the crickets? Okay, cool. I couldn't tell if I could or not. Cool. Okay. Well, moon quartz and Raven can hear it. So, do you guys not hear the music? The na-na-na-na-na-na-na? Do you guys hear that? You can hear it? Okay, cool. Thank you guys so much for checking. I couldn't tell because I have the volume like super low. So, thank you so much. Thank you guys. Cool. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys for checking. Thank you guys so much. Sauna Rock. After a jump scare, inflict all survivors with Killer Instinct's detection range with exhausted for 13 seconds. You hear his music? Cool. Thank you. You guys are so hot. Thank you so much for checking that. Oh, I closed Discord. Let me reopen that. There we go. 2 nails. Spikes that come within 1 meter of a survivor reveal their aura for 6 seconds. Bloody Smile. Increases jump scare and omnipresent evil's detection range of survivors by 4 meters. Ella! Or Ali, excuse me. Thank you for the forehead kissy. I really appreciate you guys for checking that. Thank you. Truly. Oh, Peanut, you are so good. You are so good. You don't have to sub to my YouTube. Shurin. Peanut Kitty. Thank you for the forehead kissy. You're so cute. You're fired. Corner's Coffee. Increases the distance survivors are pushed by spikes by 25%. Gain 13% haste for 3 seconds after injuring a survivor with a spike. That's really cool because if you injure a survivor with a spike, you're almost like guaranteed to like get them again, you know? I want to see how far that 25% is though. Party Noisemaker. Breaking a pallet or breakable wall with jump scare reveals the auras of survivors farther than 32 meters for 6 seconds. Whoa! Yo, Chibo! Thank you for the 100 bits! Thank you so much. What the hell? I hope you're having a very happy Tuesday. I'm blind. Really? Oh, Shabby. I hope you'll love it. I love this one, the sleeping bag. An absolutely awful place to hide from a killer. I think that one's so funny. After grabbing a hook spike while in omnipresent evil mode, see the location of survivors within 8 meters of hooks. Thank you so much, 100 bits. That's so sweet of you. Hi, Jasper. Toxic Waste. After a jump scare, survivors within 6 meters of a hook or scrap pile gain Oblivious for 13 seconds. Bent Wheel. Increases the range at which you can trigger jump scare by 4 meters. Garden Claw. Increases the duration of Killer Instinct after the jump scare by 2 seconds. Knitting Needle. Increases the time it takes for injured impaled survivors to extract the spike from themselves by 20%, which makes me think that other survivors can help extract the spike. I haven't seen that yet. Orderly's Shoe. Increases the duration of haste after a jump scare by 5 seconds. That one's actually really nice, too. I think I really want I Goop. Gain undetectable for 9 seconds after grabbing a hook spike. I love, you guys know me, I love my undetectable builds. Sorry, that was a lot of talking, and I've been talking so much about YouTube, so my throat's killing me. Chipo! Thank you for the 200 bits! What the hell? Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. That's really sweet of you. Yes, he throws spikes. It's really cool. It's like Springtrap. It's like Springtrap and Spirit hybrid a little bit. It's really cool. I'll show you guys in a second. As soon as I add one more add-on. Oh, and then obviously I'll get into a custom game. Let's see. Yeah, let's try this one. The gain 2 tokens whenever generator is completed. If you're not holding a spike when vaulting a window or breaking a pallet, immediately spend a token. No, maybe I don't want to do that one right now. Hold on. Let's do the corner school thing. It's really cool. How's the game going? I actually haven't even gotten to a game yet. But we're going to in like a minute. Should I just do the adept? Yo, Toad, thank you for the 10 stream streak. Happy Tuesday. How's everyone's Tuesday been? I'm in a silly little goofy mood right now. My throat is killing me though. Lots of yapping. Let's just get 4 bots in here. Do you guys have builds? No. Let's leave it as no builds for now. We'll just do the Adept, Mori, iGoop, Corners Coffee, and whatever map I'm on, because I didn't look. Maximus! Thank you for the forehead kiss. Can you make an Ada? Next game I will. Try not to melt. How hot is it for you right now? It's like mid-80s for me right now, so It's not too bad, but it's not great. Oh, my alert box is off. I'm so sorry. I forgot I was recording YouTube videos.
I'm a kitty cat, and I'm meow meow meow, and I'm meow 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 cat. I'm a kitty cat, and I'm meow meow meow, and I'm meow 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 cat. I'm a kitty cat, and I dance dance dance, and I dance 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 cat. I'm a kitty cat, and I dance dance dance.
He's so mad. He's so mad. He's so mad. Look at that tail. Thank you for the 2 million and billion gazanka bajillion bits. What? That's the most bits I've ever been given at one time. What the fudge? What is this emote? Seems good. I've never seen the emote before. That is so funny. What the hell? Yeah, like I said, 2 million. That's 2 million bits. That's insane. I don't know how to count. I dropped out of college. Thank you so much. We'll get into a game in a second, guys. In a second, all right? I have a very important question for you, Toad. Dog or cat? This emote is so funny. I've never seen this one before. Seems good. Do I have this one? Oh, I have this one. Oh, I think it's maybe a hype train emote, I think. Kitty! Oh, see, this way you have to be careful. I almost ran over your toes. And if I ran over your toes, I would have killed myself because I've stepped on his tail before because he likes to lay on my stairs in the pitch black of the night while I'm trying to walk up to bed. He just stays on the chair on the stairs, and I've stepped on his toes. Oh my god! Thank you for the 8 bitties. Thank you so much. Oh, it's animated when it does bits. I've been on Twitch for how many years? I'm still learning things. But yeah, whenever I step on my cat, I die a little on the inside. I don't think this cat is up here yet. Yippee, new kitty. The shame and guilt you feel when you step in a pet's paw. Yeah, because they don't understand. They don't understand that I would literally die and kill myself for them. And then they just think, you stepped on me. You've betrayed me. And it was like, ugh. Nothing makes me feel worse than stepping on my cat or something. I accidentally, I didn't kick him, but, I went, a nudge to him earlier because I was in my bathroom doing my makeup, and he snuck up behind me, and I went to go, throw away some, hair that came out, and I was, just walked right into him. I know it's a mixed opinion, but from my opinion, I just played as and against Jason. It feels like he's a balanced killer. That's what I've been hearing, Chester. A lot of people seem to think that he's balanced, and I think that's awesome. I know there's a lot of stuff going on with Killer and Survivor as far as balance issues that has nothing to do with specific killers, just general Survivor and general Killer balancing. That I know a lot of people were upset that wasn't addressed in this patch notes, but I'm thinking in the next patch these concerns will be addressed, I'm sure. But that's really good to know, Mediocre. Just Hi, Leaf! My girlfriend was devastated when she found out the real reason why my nickname is the Love Machine is because I'm terrible at tennis. Ha! Oh my god, is that because it's love means 0 in tennis, right? Listen, I've played a couple rounds of shuttlecock, you know? So I think I know what love means. As long as I don't break Nurse again. Wait, what was wrong with Nurse recently? There's another word for badminton. You know, the badminton, you know? Whoa! Raven! Shh! Later, honey muffins. But, whisker kittens. But there's, another word for the badminton is called a shuttlecock. And in high school, that was the funniest thing in the world to me. You know what? Here we go. Here, I know what kind of kitty cat we're gonna do. Why do you look so angry, Toad? I'm asking that like I'm not the one who drew you. Why do you look so angry? Here, I'll give you eyebrows. Oh, that helps so much. Yeah, now you don't look so angry anymore. Good, I thought you were mad at me. Well, you're gonna get little T first because that's so cute. Shuttlecock sounds like a rude astronaut. Shut up. Shut up. Oh my god. Loki, salted Loki, YBZ, or so someone asked, was it Max asked earlier, what does PTB stand for? And YBZ goes, what did he say? Patting this pussy. Oh really, Gremlins? That's annoying. I don't really play nurse. What, Toad? You don't look angry now. I gave you eyebrows. Hi, salted Loki. Mwah. Think with the forehead QC. It's gonna start releasing the PTBs on consoles. I don't think it's not a behavior thing. It's a technology thing. I don't think someone please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's the limitations of like Dead by Daylight just can't do that because the consoles don't allow for that to be a thing. You know what I mean? YBZ is a treasure. I agree. Sunny, mwah, I think we're the forehead kissing. Yeah, no, that's Jasper. Yeah, because I almost ran him over with my chair. Chibo! Mwah, think of the forehead kiss. Well, time to get a gaming laptop. Oh, I'm so sorry, Angel. I know it sucks. I do feel bad because I used to be only on console. We love YBT in your house. Console anytime soon. Yeah, I think it's a limitation of like hardware and technology and things like that. How do I draw this? All right, we're gonna draw this. I've never drawn this before. Oh. Okay. 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 Aw. Okay. He came out kind of cute. I just spit everywhere. It's alright, you guys liked it. Only one shabby joke. Oh my god, we're just like you know that one meme of that guy is like holding a fart and he's sitting in the classroom. He's like bald and he's got like veins popping out. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? He's like, ugh. That's you. Like just can't make only one shabby. Toad, your kitty cat is playing shuttlecock, aka badminton. It's kind of cute. I've never drawn a racket or a shuttlecock before. I've drawn lots of penises though. Oh, Jasper. I'm running out of room. Alright, you're going right here. You're invading the tiny kitty spaces. Thank you so much for the 24 million bajillion billion. Two different streams you could barely say. For another, I was able to steal a chance. Really? It just, oh my god. I'm so sorry. That's really funny. I hope you know, like, what I'm referencing. Alright. Are you guys want to get into the game now? Oh, wait. You said make one, an Ada? Oh, that was crunchy. Crunchy. There she is. Ada. Any other survivor requests? Yeah, that's the one! That's the one! Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad when you guys get me. Popcorn! Any other survivor requests? I have an Ada Anaya, a V Bunyasak, and Kwan Tae-young. Leon! Survivor by the Progressive Cousin? I mean, I've wasted this much time. Oh, Jojo. Can I help you? I'll make you dance again. Think I won't? Do I do a dance? Cat. I'm a kitty cat. And a meow 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 and a meow meow meow. Leon! Another Leon? Good afternoon, Anti-Fox. Good afternoon. Small, but still smart. We can do another Leon. Leon! Sorry, it's my verbal stem. I can't not do it. Should we do 3 Leons and an Ada? You know what? I think I've seen that in the hub before. But the opposite. 3 Adas and a Leon. Yeah, okay. Alright. Cool, I'm glad we're all on the, yeah. We're all on the same brain. Same brain. That's funny. Alright. What map should I do? Oh, just do random. Yeah. Yeah, I am! It's 55 minutes. You got a link for that? Yeah. I'll get one for you. Good morning, Asher. But I actually haven't played any games yet, Fox. I've just been recording stuff for YouTube all day. And I've just been yapping. I told you guys I was only going to stream for like 2 hours today. And I was like, it's already been an hour. And I haven't done anything. Mr. Ware. Ah! Think of the forehead kissy. Is to quote Vicky. What is that? We just be yapping. Big yapping. Alright, so I'm gonna be undetectable in the beginning. A dog. Wait, what do the kitties mean, Yusuf? Alright, so we're undetectable. Omnipresent evil. Oh my god, I'm so fast. And so, here you can see his aura. And I can change how I want to come out of my omnipresent evil. Which direction. If a survivor is just standing still, I'll see like an aura, like a cloud, but you will not see scratch marks in this mode. But you'll see like little almost like Chucky footprints if they're running. They're so fast. Holy moly. Here we go. So this is, you see that cloud? That means someone's right there. And so I'm gonna come out of here with my jump scare. I will get their scream and, perfect. Get their scream and killer instinct. Alright, I just got a token for breaking a breakable wall. So, no, they cannot see me. They can see when I come out, right? Aim spike with, M2, okay. Whoa! Oh, and you can see the aura of the spike. I can pick up a spike right here. Oh, do I have to grab it? I think I might have to grab the spike. Alright. They get audio cue like Spirit? Yes, there are lots of audio cues. We'll play a Survivor game too, so you guys can hear like what the Survivor cue, or what the Survivor audio cues are like. There are a lot of audio cues. It is fantastic. We'll be omnipresent mode. They ran this way. Maybe we can... So we saw the footprints. Oh. Well, that's not where I wanted to teleport. I'm not sure if that was, like, a bug. Because, you know, we are in the PTB. Because that is not where I wanted to teleport. But that's where it made me teleport. So, well, okay. Oh, look. I've been impaled. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. So good. And then every time you go past a hook, you get your spear back. I'm almost at my hex, by the way. And then here are the scrap things, by the way. The scrap that you could pick up your... Cool. Oh! I'm sorry, guys. Sorry. Hi, Frisky. Frisky, good morning. Ooh. He zigged when I thought he was gonna zag. Comp corner? Comp corner? Comp cactus? I don't have a spike, but let me actually go get a spike really quickly. You guys mind? I just walk up to this, right? Oh, I have to press spacebar. Okay. I want to impale him. You know what I mean? Aw, man. That's right. What a great entrance, right? I'm sorry if I missed... Oh, sorry. I'm sorry if I missed anyone's messages while I'm doing this, by the way. What other skins? If you take a spear, the hook is broken. I didn't know that. That's cool. I did not know that. Yeah, like it comes out of Omni mode. There you go. Break that. We go omnipresent evil mode. Let's see if we can see some more. Oh, here we go. Footsteps right here. Footsteps right here. So we're chasing somebody. Let's come out. Oh, I did not want to come out there. That's fine. So we have Killer Instinct for where they are. Oh. I love seeing their little footsteps. So it's like Survivor Chucky, I guess. Oh. Whoa! A new stim? Wait, which stim? Or which one? Oh! I'm not sure what the... I wasn't sure what the, Yes! He's been impaled! Alright, so I just grab him. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. Oh, I love that. The Kool-Aid Man! Oh, yeah! Big boy. Yeah. Oh, look, I've been impaled. Oh, the... Yeah. Oh, forgot my power. They are here. Let's come out. So that's interesting. That I chose to come out here, but they... So I don't know if that's a bug. I can't tell. Or if maybe I'm just doing it wrong. But that's the second time that I have chosen to, like, reappear with my Omnipresent Evil in one space, and they have me come out another way. You know what I mean? Oh my god! Look at you go! Where are you? I hear you. Oh, how do you get over there? They might be cheating. Oh, cheater, cheater, blumpkin eaters. Jason put it inside Leon. Nothing coming out the other. Nothing wrong coming out the other way. Is that what you said? Oh, I forgot about this. Oh. Oh. What is happening? Okay. Oh. Hello, lovely. Oh, it's all right. Now, can I grab it from this hook? I cannot. Okay. I was curious. But I can grab from here. You still here? Oh, my Hex totem is up too. Let's see. Now, does... Oh, he does... There he is, right here, he's right here, he's right here. Oh my god, I love it so much! So I want to get someone on Death Hook. Oh, I haven't even hooked the Ada yet. Sorry, I'm picking on the boys, but you guys like it. You guys like it. I need to get any of the Leons now. Speared. And then I'll show you guys one of the two Moris. Here we go. Here's a potential one that we can get. I would really like to spike him. You know what I mean? Oops. Let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we can impale him. You know what I mean? No. Okay, well here's a Mori that we can do. Entrails out, head stomp. So that is one of the mini Moris, and there is another one. So we got footsteps right here. Let's jump scare right here. He wasn't using those entrails anyways, right? Who is this? Ooh, Leon! So we need to impale him on a wall so we can see the other mini Mori. Look at this one. Yes! Perfect! Now here is the other mini Mori. Pretend there's a javelin there. Whoa! Oh! I came! I'm sorry! I'm sorry. Sometimes I come a little early. It's alright. It happens to everybody, alright, guys? That was so fucking funny. So here, I can teleport up here now. And that's so cool. I think this would be really good. I think this, like, his power in general would just be really good, like, on, like, Midwich or something. You know what I mean? Oh, I forgot I could vault windows. Wait, hold on. Let me try my... Oh, wait. No, that's my iridescent power. Okay. Let me grab another hook. I still have to find Ada. Where's Ada? Oh, she's right here. Oh, she's not right here. I'm stupid. What are those little things in white? While I'm in my omnipresent evil mode? While I'm in this? Is it this? Right, Asher? Yes. So that is a breakable, like a broken pallet. And a place where you can teleport. I can teleport here. I can teleport there. And I can break that wall. Nope. Okay. Well, pretend the game worked for me. It's just showing us the aura of things we can, like, interact with. Where are you? Here? Not here. Not there. There we go. Now it did what I wanted it to do. So yeah, you can break stuff. And you can break pallets too when you come out of your omnipresent evil mode. See, this is where the add-on would come in handy, where he can throw his spike, and like within like, what was it, 13 meters of the throne, the mist throne spike. Aha! A key! You can see like the aura or like killer instinct of survivors. This chase music is really satisfying too. I really enjoy the chase music. Whoa. That's right. I'll get your ass, Aita. I'll get your ass. It does block the palette too, which is really nice. Cheaters. Guys, bots are cheating. I cannot wait to play a Survivor. I've only seen like the videos that they gave us. The gameplay, the videos that they gave us. The thing you just grabbed, what was that? Oh, this is the javelin! So that was out of, like a spike pile, I guess. Or like a scrap pile. So that's what these are underneath. Here, I'll grab one right now. So these are spawnable things, like how Springtrap has his doors that spawn when he's in the map. Or Dracula has like his castle in the sky when he spawns in the map. Jason has these little scrap piles where you can always be grabbing. Always be grabbing. Oh gosh. Oh! Look at that swing. Look at that, like, whoosh! That's very satisfying. Yeah. He is always killing people with all sorts of objects. Yes. Sleeping bags, tenatals, things of acid, yeah. He's got a plethora of things to murder people with. Yeah, Space Bethesda! It is my space bot. That's so funny. Now I wonder, does she get unhookable if I'm like right here in my omnipresent evil? Because I could just stay here, wait for someone to unhook her, and just like camp it. Can't I? She could unhook herself? I don't know. I want to see. Oh. Now, did she unhook herself? think she may have. I think she did. I think she did. Cool. That's good to know. That if you're in your omnipresent evil mode, you don't have DS, right? I'm joking. You don't have any perks. That's good to know. It would lurk that spirit, no? I don't know. It is the PTB too, so you never know. You never know what you're gonna get. But now everybody's on Death Hook, so now we could do the mini Moris with everybody now. Leon, you want to do a gen? I'd be so mad if this Leon was my teammate. Oh my god. I did not know that. I just walk through these. Okay. Wait, so I can just... What's up, the fox? What does the fox say? Well, you'll be healing right there. Yippee. Oh, Ada, I'm sorry. I do be doing a little bit of a tunnel, but you're a bot, so I don't give a fuck. Oh! Mini Mori! Mini Mori! You won't be needing those entrails, will you? Now let's go close hatch. Oh, okay. That was easy. Bye, hatch. Oh, man. This ain't looking good for you, Leon. Let me get a hook. Oh, I forgot you were there. Oh, sweet prince. Did that come out of her butt? I don't know, maybe. Oh, hey, 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 hey. Yes. Thank you for not committing, Leon. That makes me very happy. Ooh, look at you, you little slutty little dodger, you. All right, well, I'm not gonna hook him for this last one because I want to get the Mori for him. Because even though I've seen the Mori like 50 bajillion gazonka honka billion times, I want you guys to see the Mori in an actual map. An actual map setting. Also, hi, Bronson! Alright. You're in a very flammable bush right now, too. Yippee! Oh, that's cool. Smash. Wrong button. Milkman! Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Roots, your hope work's going so good for you! GG's. That was fun. I think my favorite part of that game was the bugged Leon Mori. Oh, Fox, I'm so happy! I'm so happy you're happy. You have pizza? What kind of pizza? The pizza is great. It's great. It's amazing. Now, do you guys want to see another game of Jason, or do you guys want to see as a Survivor POV? I'm leaning slightly more towards the Survivor POV, just because I feel like a lot of us have collectively seen a lot of Jason stuff, but you guys let me know. Hi, Demior! How you doing? Hi, Demo! Demo, hope you're doing so good, sweet angel. Pepperoni, angry peppers, mushrooms, olive chives, need therapy, therapy. Man, System of a Down has been stuck in my head for a while. Not that song, but some other songs. It's so funny. Devil, hope you're doing so good. Yeah. Hi, Utter. Mr. Voorhees. Instead of renaming Hex Scared to Death. Wait, what is it again? Wait, why do you want to rename it? Devilicious. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Otaku. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Lurky. Thank you for the 110 stream streak. Holy. That's amazing. And I'm so jacked to finally get ready and finally get Jason and DBD. I'm so excited for you. I was debating on whether I wanted to wear like a Jason shirt that I have or a DBD shirt. But I think I'm gonna save my Jason shirt or like a Jason cosplay for like when he like comes oot. STD. I did not think about that, and now that's all I want to call it. So thank you. And just so you know, Asher, it's gonna be because of you, because I did not think about that. So thank you for Hex STD. I appreciate you. If you guys are curious what we're referencing, Hex Scared to Death, Hex STD. So thank you, Asher. So when you hear people say it, thank you, because it's very funny. Head empty, same. XSTD is so funny. I'm now regretting not getting a Jason cosplay spirit last year. Oh! I wonder if I have any extras. I have to send your birthday present. We should get nachos tonight? Fuck yeah. Sounds like it's about something else. You know, I know it's funny. Like, I'm sure people's, like, usernames, like, in Dead by Daylight have been Hex, like, STD. I hate the skin so much. It's so gross. Blech. I like his shovel. Oh, not quick. Let's do a survivor one. What? Ugh, Dustin. Ew.
Are you shitting me?
I know who I want to play. Are the new perks out right now? Hex IBS. Oh my god. Only hot people have IBS. You fault. I don't know. Even know what the new perks are called. Would it be in my inbox? Oh, let's go to perks. Oh, news perks. Wow. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I can just read them to you from here. Wide open throttle. Whenever you so here's the life similar one. Wide open throttle. Whenever you fast vault a pallet, you gain 10, 12.5, or 15% haste for 3 seconds. The pallet is reset, blocked for 60 seconds, and all survivors see its aura for that time. Lend a hand. Once per trial and per survivor, after you have blessed or cleansed one totem while healing another survivor, press F to give them 2, 3, or 4 permanent healing charges. So that's kind of crazy because you can make them have faster heals for like the rest of the game. That's insane. The Savini skin in the original F13 game was S+ tier, but it's not in this one. I hate mobile. How do people do this? It sucks. I hate chat. I hate chatting on Twitch streams on mobile. It's so annoying. Cross examination. While in the killer's terror radius, the killer leaves light marks that last for 10 seconds that you can see. While on the killer's light marks, you gain elusive. This ends after 3, 4, or 5 seconds. I feel like this reminds me a little bit of how Portia, what's her name? Doggy Lady. Someone help me out. Why am I blanking right now? Rootsy, Doggy Lady, Portia, what's her name? She has, that dog. Houndmaster! Thank you, Poundmaster. It kind of reminds me of how, Houndmaster, when you walk, like, the trail of the doggy, you get faster. That's what it kind of reminds me of. Good afternoon! Hell yeah, dude! Hell yeah, dude. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday / Wednesday if you are a Kiwi or Aussie. Not you, but, like, anybody who's here right now. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm so tired. But these are pretty cool perks. Should we try the new Survivor perks? Maybe I'll just try only the new Survivor ones. So, what was it? Wide open throttle. Lend a hand. So, lend. Typing's hard. And cross. So we'll just do only the new perks. What do you guys think? Girl, where are my items at? Jesus, Mary and Joseph. That scared the hell out of me. Because I would love to be called a Kiwi. Oh, yeah, I hate being American. You're a Canadian! Kind of sadly, hey, better than being American. Pew, 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 pew. This guy. So I made a video, Rootsy, of me mooring 69 different survivors with Jason. God, that took me, like, about 2 hours to do. Just to film it, edit it, post it. Oh my god, it took me 2 hours. So you guys better go like that video. Please go like that video. Because it also got limited because it's a Mori. So YouTube is trying to suppress it because it's a Mori. And YouTube doesn't like that shit. So you guys better go like that video. It's going to be 2 fucking hours to film it. And edit it down. but I try to do different outfits for each survivor that I moried as Jason, and I 100% use this outfit for Gabriel, and to the shock of nobody, this is the outfit that I use for Ace. And these are the only 2 outfits I really customized. All the other outfits I just use like normal ones. Hey, yo! Is that the Mad Viking King? Thank you so much for the raid! Yo, welcome in, raiders! Welcome! You're an icon for that? Thank you. How many queues right now? Oh, actually, I haven't even started. For Killer, I don't know. I did a custom game. I'm about to try Survivor right now. What's up, King7 Punk? What's up, Ghost Dog? What's up, Mystic Mousy? What's up, Psychotic Lil Witch? What's up, Father 1930? Hi, Mad Viking King! Yo, how was your stream? Welcome in! What's up, Magical Gnome? Hi, Aries Bloodfallen! Welcome in, Raiders! Welcome in. My name is PixelxKitten, and we are trying out the Jason PTB for public test build, public test beta for Dead by Daylight right now. So we're doing Jason Voorhees and just testing them out, and we're about to play a Survivor game to see what it's like on the other side, getting murdered. Also, thank you so much for the follow. I do have anonymous follows on. I appreciate it so much. We are on the road for 25,000 followers. We just hit 24,000 followers last week, so I'm like, my goal now is 25,000 followers. And doesn't that just make you sick? 25,000 people. I should probably delete a bunch of bots though, because I don't know if I have any bots. Maybe I should do that before I make that as a goal. Bye, Rootsy! Have a great day at work. I love you! You're playing some Subnautica! Had a blast playing it with one of the best friends? Oh, hell yeah. Did you play the first? Subnautica? Hello. I'm not a big open water gamer, but I did watch people play it. Thank you guys so much for the follows. Welcome in! You loved it? Yeah, I watch people play it, but I ain't gonna play it myself. I'm not a big water guy. You know what I mean? Oh, Aries, you're so sweet! Oh, I'm so sorry, Fox. That sucks. I understand. I used to be a console gamer, and it was like 2021 I got my very first PC, so I understand. I hope you guys are doing so good. Thank you so much for the raid. Everyone go follow Mad Viking King and friends. If you guys need to go raid and run, do not feel bad about doing so. Please go get your post-stream self-care, get your post-stream stretchies, bathroom breaks, namis, and bevies. Go eat, go pee, go poo, go stretch, go drink. If you guys are new here, welcome in. I am a variety streamer, DBD creator, and I play really whatever I get my hands on. Really, like, I play a lot of things that have, like, Twitch drops on because I'm a big ol' Twitch, like, badge slut. I love Twitch badges. They're so fun to collect. And, I don't know, I just play, like, whatever. Yes! Oh my god! Let your doggies out. I, myself, have 3 cats and 2 dogs. Here's 50% of my dog population. And my cat left me. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's my collection. I have a meow, 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 and a woof, woof. But please go take care of your babies. Oh, is that the new 007 one? Ah, fudge you. I still need to get that one, because that one just started today, right? Hi, condensed milk. Mwah. Think of the forehead kizzy. So cute. Thank you. I birthed them myself. That's Boo. Say bye. Hi, Boo. Say hi. Say. Okay. We were playing with that piggy last night. But I hope you guys had the best time hanging out with my Viking King. Please get your post-stream self-care. I'm gonna play a little raid trailer for you guys real quick and help you. Don't look at my goddamn shade.
Merry Crisis. Merry Crisis.
It went everywhere! Why is the music like this? I can't stop looking at my cleavage, I'm sorry. Pixel! Pixel! It squirts in your mouth, not in your hands. By the way, it's Pixel. It's not really Bob Ross. It's me. It's Pixel. My mouth tastes like barf and stink bug. Who wants a lick? Thank you guys so much for the raid. You guys are very hot and tall and talented and handsome. Truly, thank you. If you guys don't want to see any Jason PTB spoilers, look away. But if you guys are here for the Jason PTB shenanigans, welcome in. I also do have a pinned comment up here if you're on PC or down here if you're on mobile. Links to my YouTube. I've uploaded a lot of YouTube videos in the past 24 hours, just going over Jason's power, gameplay, perks, etc. But we're about to play a Survivor game. I'm going to be using the new Survivor's perks. Oh, as Gabriel, though. I just wanted to show off my ace fit because it's Jason! It is Jason. We just did a Jason game. We just went over his cosmetics, everything. If you want to see Jason stuff right now, I do have a YouTube video uploaded, a bunch of stuff. We were looking at his Mori and his 2 mini Moris. I looked at me first. And we're about to do a Survivor game, so I want to see what it's like as Survivor. Oh, here's my 99 problems. Perfect. Let me ready up. Let's do, I don't know, luck. Oh, luck. Let's do Vigo's Jar of Salty Lips. It winked! Oh, shoot. An ad's gonna play. Okay, well, let me wait until we get into lobby and see if we should we do an ad. Because I want to do the ad before we get into the game. Okay. Ad now! No ad in game. I am live on YouTube if you guys don't want to, like, miss anything. Nothing's really gonna happen. It's just gonna play an ad just before the game starts. So I'll be right back, gamers. I'm so sorry. Should I bring a flashlight? I feel like I should. I mean, why not, right? There you go. And I get my G Fuel today. Hey! Wait, Tempura, what flavor did you get? I'm drinking my, Jason Voorhees hack and slash, G Fuel can today because I thought, well, obviously, right? Like, what else am I gonna drink? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's not, like, out yet. Hi, Gamers Feud! Happy Tuesday! It's not, like, out yet, but it is out on the PTB. Sorry, I'm pulling up my phone so I can, like, respond to chat better. There we go. You gotta try for a save when he's getting a grab a Survivor stuck to the wall. That's what I was thinking! That's literally why I brought the flashlight. I was like, what if we could do, like, something, like, silly stupid, right? 4 days till I can be stressed for 4 hours. Oh, yippee! What are you gonna wear? I don't know. I have to look at my schedule. I have to look at me schedule because I had a death in my family this week, and so I gotta look up what Gamers Feud's schedule is, and then see how that is with mine. More ways to be a little save gremlin. I hope they don't, like, change it because they did change. Because Springtrap, he used to be able to get a flashlight save on him when he grabbed people in his security room, and then you were able to get a flashlight save when he would come out, but that's not a thing anymore. And you used to be able to flashlight save on. You know, why did I just know I was gonna get this map? I haven't gotten this map in like 84 years, and I knew I was gonna get this map. Whatever. But you used to be able to get a save on Wesker too when he did his. Ah, that's so scary! Ah! Ah! No. No! 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 Oh, that's so scary. Oh, look! Okay. No! That's so scary. He's so scary. Oh, I can extract? Extract? No, that's so scary. I forgot my perks too. Okay. Whoa! Mr. Ware, thank you for the big ol' emote. You're so hot and tall and talented and handsome. Okay, he's chasing somebody. Ooh, should I, like, cover for a save? Look, 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 look! These are what, like, the little, like, this is so cute. I love, he's impaled! Oh, I couldn't get the grab. Damn. But look at that! You just see, like, a whole track of, like, him walking. That's so cool. That's so dope. All right, let's do this for my perk. Guns. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kiss. Yeah, you could track him. Oh, how dope! Oh, I'm so sorry if I missed someone's message. Oh my God, Fox, never be too tired. Can never be too tired. Finally was able. What's up, Aspen, happy Tuesday. Happy Jason PTB day. Okay. I kind of want to head over there, but like also kind of don't. I'm so scared right now. Because I forgot what all these perks do. I have to heal a survivor. Oh, here. I think Dustin might be over there. Okay. I'm going to go get healed by him. There he is. Hi, Sugar Plum. You need to be there 50 minutes prior to round. What day, Gamers Feud? I'm sorry. I know you've posted about it like 1,000,001 times. I just don't remember at the moment. But Aspen, I hope you're doing very, very well. May 30th? Okay. Let me check my calendar. What day is May 30th? And then lend a hand. Okay, cool. Wow, look at that! So I think this is permanent. I think, like, they permanently, like, don't need, like, those stacks no more. Oh, this Saturday? Okay. Okay, well, I'll be streaming that day, so I'll probably have to do that filming thing that you talked about. Hi, Shafira! Oh, no, 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 I hear you, I hear you, I hear you! No, 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 no! Why me? What did I do? Okay. Medium vault. And by medium vault, I mean slow vault. No, 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 no! I'm scared. Okay. And we run. Okay, bye! I'm doing so good. I don't know why I'm doing really, really well today. I think it might be, like, the lack of sleep. Look, I could just know where he is. I could just know where he is! I love this perk. I could just see where he is and where he's going all the time, at all times. Oh, okay. Well, pretend, like... I didn't miss that. What was that bunny on the side? Did you guys see that? He's just standing there, menacing there! I hope you're doing so good. Yeah! I got, like, no sleep because I was up all late. I was up all night playing Heroes of Might and Magic because it's the best video game ever. And then I got up early to do a bunch of YouTube videos. Shut the fudge up, Raven! You're absolutely right, sir. Hi, Ninja! Ninja. I hope you're doing so good, Ninja. Oh, you had to get up for work? Well, I mean, I did too, right? But my work is probably more fun than your work, though. Because I just do this. You want to go? Are you at work right now? Ew. L work. I'm so sorry. I hope work goes by really quickly. Capricorn. Mwah. Tronic. Mwah. You go with the forehead kisses. Hit me! Why would you hit me? Oh, nice. Arg! You gotta be careful with that. Whoa! Watch out, Yui! That was funny. Wow! Wow! That did not work out for me! Okay, so the new survivor perk doesn't work out very well all the time. That's so funny. So now that pallet is blocked for 60 seconds. That is so funny. How dare my own perks work against me? That's so funny. Escape. Thank for the forehead kissy. Okay, so you fast fall over that pallet. It brings the pallet back up, and it's blocked for everybody for 60 seconds. Oh, Ninja, who is it? Who do I have to fight? I'm joking. Oh, man. Ninja, you are so hot and talented and handsome. I love you so much. Hello! Escape. Happy Tuesday. Oh, man. Wait, get over this! Holy! No. Whoa! How did I not die? You wanna fight? You wanna kiss? Saphira. Mwah. Think with a forehead kissy. Who are we fighting? You can fight me. I'll fight you all. Think I won't? I can take you all at once. I'm joking. I'm sorry. I'm in a really weird mood. It's like, cause I'm like streaming on my day off. So, because I will not be streaming tomorrow. I will not be streaming tomorrow. I got a family thing I gotta do tomorrow. It's not a good thing. It sucks. It's gonna suck. It's what I talked about at the beginning of the stream yesterday. I can't say it today because I don't want to ruin my good mood. Yeah. So I will not be live tomorrow, but I will have a new YouTube video on Thursday with my Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Hi, Breaker! Breaker, also very hot, very tall, very talented, very handsome. No, he isn't condensed. He's only used it, I think, twice. You think you could take me, Escape? You think you could take me? I gotta go, because I have the shortest, ugliest, stupid mic. Oh no! Rin, I hope you feel better. Everyone say, bye, Rin! Give lots of hugs to Rin, okay, guys? I hope you feel better. Migraines are the peepiest and the poopiest in the entire world. So I hope you feel better. That sucks. Migraines are cheeks. How would that work with the perks that put a charge on the palette for when... Oh, interesting. I think that would just disappear, I think. Migraine should be banned. Agreed. Oh, he's chasing Spaghetti. I'm gonna try to see if I can get the flashlight save on Spaghetti. Oh. Oh, but how cool would it be if you could vault the pallet to make it come back and then instantly stun him? How cool would that be? You know what I mean? I may get pinned down, but you know, oh no. Oh no, I've been impaled. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be quoting that a lot. Hope you guys like Frozen, because I'm gonna be quoting that a lot. 25% of the time? How are you gonna be by for it? I don't know. I don't know. Wah! Stop that! Oh, thank God I zigged, because I could have zagged. Oh, why would you do that? Girl! Okay, thank God I stunned him. I got so scared. Hex? Milk? Mwah. Think of the forehead kissy. Good morning! Oh, it's so much fun. I'm playing, Survivor right now. Obviously. But it's our first Survivor game. Don't hear me! What? Infinite. Oh, I don't even need the infinite. I thought you were playing killer? You saying Gabriel looks like a killer? These are the shorts of a killer, Bella. Oh my God, that thing's stinging. Don't vault. Oh, thank you. You're such a good little boy, Jason. Be mommy's good boy, Jason. Get it? No! 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 Dustin! 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 Okay. Don't leave me, Dustin. Dustin! Don't leave me! Hey, bear back. Oh, go! Lily! Lily! Mwah. Think with a forehead kissy. Dustin! Dustin! Dustin, you come here, little... That's alright, I don't care back. It's PTB over here. We got a Red Bull from the vending machine. No! Would you like a G Fuel in this trying time? Kick it! That was super fun! We gotta play again because, okay, I changed screens too early at the end game. I don't know if that was a bug, but Jason was just standing there, like right here. GG's, GG's, GG's. Oh, I didn't mean to scream that at you, sorry. Yes, I would! I thought this was like super appropriate to drink today. Some Jason Yorhees. Menacingly! We're gonna do the same thing. Same build. Yeah, I'm gonna do the same build. But you know what? I'm actually gonna bring life into for the combo. Feel going against him so far. That was my first game, and he seemed pretty fine, but he didn't really use his power much. So I want to see if someone will use his power. Also, stretch. All right, sounds good, Raven. I hope I'm back. I hope I'm here when you come back. But if not, I love you. Or say bye, Raven. Oh, that's fair. Saphira, that's so fair. Oh, good stretch. Wait, was it yesterday when I had that really juicy back crack? Was it yesterday? It was. This was right after I finished crying. Oh, that was a little bit of a pop. Nothing crazy. But so far, Jordan, not so bad. Is that a bug? I wasn't sure if it was like purposeful or not. Cool. Cool beans. We've gotten some really cool emails during stream today, guys. Oh, it was juicy. Sorry. My game lags, or my PC lags sometimes when I'm loading in. I'm sorry. Oh my god, me when I'm walking my dogs. And people are like, my neighbors are asking me, what do I do? I'm just like, ugh. And I'm like I'm literally like in my, like wearing my like Twitch hoodie. What's up, Jose? Jose, happy Tuesday. Nah, it was mine. Mine's doing the thing. I never get this map. Yeah, get the Claudette. Get her ass! Get her ass! Oh, get her, Jason! Holy, that's a thick-ass cloud. Ah! 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 Oh my god, this is a horror game! Well, he doesn't have... I know he doesn't have a thing. Whoa! You spend my... Look at all these lights he's leaving for me. Dance, Jason. Dance. Wait, hold on. Chill. Oh, I'm holding it tight. Oh, I'm holding it tight like a Toyger Gamers. Oh. Oh. Now, why would you go and do that? Oh, I forgot I had life. Oh, that was so scary, guys. Oh, I should not be hanging out by a vault. Yeah, get her ass. Get her, she's right there. Now throw your spear at somebody. Oh. No! Take her, not me! No, seriously, take her. Why me? What did I do? What? Oh, here we go. We got the infinite. Ah! All right, it's the infinite. It's the fit. His fit or my fit? He reacts to everything. Oh, thanks, Capricorn. I'm in a good mood right now. Yeah. Curse that Claudette. No, I'm just joking. Oh my god. Jade! Aspen, thank you so much for the 8 monthlies. Enjoy your 90. Count them. Your 90 emotes, ad preview, and add your sub badge. You were so hot and tall and talented and handsome. My fit? What's wrong with my fit? I would wear this IRL. Someone send these shorts to me and I'll wear them IRL. Think I won't? Did you really? Oh, it's so cute. I love them. Oh my god, Jason and Springtrap? Oh my god, I don't think that would be a thing. We would need Freddy and Jason in 2v8, right? I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry. Whoa! Alright. Now what did I Dungolly did do? He's like, I'm done with you. I just want to keep following him, you know? He makes me so happy. Meow. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. I do have anonymous follows on, but I see you and I appreciate you. I just want to see if I can get a flashlight save. Oh. Oh, look, I can see my little feeties. What's the glowies on the ground? That is, that is one of, the survivor perks. Where I get, I'm so scared. No, okay, you know what? I don't want to talk about that, chat. I don't want to talk about that. It is, what perk is it? Hold on. It is, there we go. Cross-examination. While in the killer's tear radius, they leave light marks that last for 10 seconds you can see. While in the killer's light marks, you gain elusive. Yes, there is a survivor, and these are their perks. I don't know. That's not me slipping up. I don't know who the perks are or who the survivor is. There is speculation that it's gonna be one of Michaela's besties. Okay, glad I can help. Guys, he's wearing a mask. He can't see. He's wearing a mask. I can't get a flashlight save when he's wearing a mask. But Jose, it's so much fun. I've uploaded a bunch of YouTube videos too of like his gameplay, his perks, and his power and everything like that. If you guys want to see more of it. My teammates hate me. The mask is in the way, right? No, the survivor has not been revealed yet. From the movies, it is not licensed. It is not a licensed one. I think the Jason just has like a really like complicated licensing, and which is why we have to call him Jason and not Jason Voorhees. You know what I mean? Right? She's tired of solo queue. That's so funny. But yeah, I think Jason is super fun to play as. This is only my second game going against him. Hello, love. Oh, hello, love. Ugh. Girl, I'm trying. He is using his omnipresent mode a little bit more, I'm noticing. Oh, I haven't cleansed the totem yet, so I can't use my other perk. Yeah, Jordan, unfortunately. Because I know a lot of people wanted, what's his name? Tommy, whatever his name is. Woo! I was literally about to bitch, like, why am I healing you when I'm on Death Hook? But that's alright. Not even a Mori? Oh, yippee! He heard me. I'm joking. The bottle keeps not spawning. It is just the PTB though. That there have been a couple bugs so far. Where'd my helmet go? Saphira, I can't wait for you to play it. It is lovely. GG's! P600 lobby? I'm joking. Yucky! Yeah, he does kick over a gas can. If you guys want to see Jason Mori 69 different survivors, go to my YouTube. Go to my YouTube. It's not that video, but go watch my video. Go watch it. Go watch all my YouTube videos. And go like them. Because Julian Brainworms, is that the Michaela's friend's name? I was talking about the Tommy guy from Jason's lure. I can't remember his name though. Tommy Hilfiger. I'm joking. 7.5 out of 10? What would you wish it was to make it better, Jordan? What would make it a 10 out of 10 for you? Shabby's why you're my favorite. Shabby said that he liked and watched them all, and that's why he's my favorite. Oh, okay. Just thinking about Julian. Yay, Julian! But yeah, YouTube suppressed my Mori video because it's all gory, and I didn't edit out all the blood because I was not going to do that for 69 different Moris. And so if you guys want to like and watch that one. A free twerking show! Yippee! Thanks, Shadow Ace! Appreciate that. Alright, we're gonna do it again. This is so much fun. Guys, I'm having the best time. This is gonna be a short stream today, though. We're almost at We're almost at 2 hours. I'll play for like a little bit longer. But it will be a short stream time. Short. Because I got no sleep. And short stream. That made me think of you, Tom. I'm so happy you're here. Everyone say hi, Tom! But I also think about, hey, Julian! It's only Julian that I know, besides like Julian McMahon. R.I.P. Master Ware! Think of it, 20 minutes! Oh, Tom, close your eyes. It is a turtle! Very good eye, Aspen. It is a turtle. Am I turtly enough for the turtle club? It is. I don't even know what stones these are. It's like a little crystal turtle. Yeah, how much sleep? I know he's had at least 7 hours. Thanks for the 20 biddies. Takes time. You're so hot. I love turtles. But this little necklace is making me think of my uncle today, so I wanted to wear it. I'm not sure. I know there's at least 7 hours, and that's all I know. Probably just that. Jessica! Mwah, you can put a forehead goosey. Jessica, I hope you're doing so good, you hot and talented, hot, tall, talented, handsome princess. Also, thank you for the 5 stream streak. 7 hours is all I can spare for to let Tom sleep. We need to get a totem. Look at my little feet! They're so pretty! Oh, totem. Oh, condensed milk! Thank you for the big old bitty. Wait. Oh. Thank God he doesn't want me. But thank you so much for the big old bitty milk. Also, do I see a Kodiak? Hi, Kodiak! And do I see a Tonesy? Tonesy, mwah. Thank you for the forehead kiss. Hey! Get her ass. Yeah, get her ass. Lightboard! I'm joking. I'm not sure if that was Lightboard yet. That could have just been me. Yep. He's gonna get one at this hook. He's gonna have another one. No, wait, hold on, we can talk about this. Wait! Now, why would you do that? Why would you do that? I don't make this. Ah, my perk! My perk! We just watched him disappear! That show's scary. Guys, this game is so scary. This is so fun. Look at him go. Get him, Jason. Get him. Get him, Jason. Get the ass. Get the ass, Jason. Jason, get him. I'm your mother, Jason, and you need to kill them. With the power of friendship. I think he has Lightborn, guys. DBD is a horror game again. Guys, what's the sound of one hand clapping? Yeah. Shadow Ace! Mwah. Think with the forehead. Okay, you know what, girl? How am I supposed to do a gen if you guys keep going down? Yikes. I do Sharpie art, and you saying you like turtles, I was thinking I could do a nice turtle with your Twitch name on it! Oh, you don't gotta do that! What the hell? Oh, I never finished cleansing my totem. I was like, why can't I F you? Okay, I meant F as in like the button. I mean, if you want to, but not, you don't have to. But that sounds really sweet. Macaroni noises? Punching, was it punching pudding in a boot? If you know, you know. I need to cleanse this totem, so I need to get my perk activated. Need to learn to clap my tit. Oh my god. I need, so I can move like my pecs a little bit. I want to get better because I want to be able to like, you know, you can see it like move like a little bit. Like my pec like a little bit, you know? And like my left one, I kinda. My right one, a little bit more. I want to be able to move them like gadoosh, gadoosh, gadoosh. Like I want to be able to do that, so I gotta do like more push-ups or something. I don't know. I got you, Milk, don't worry. Alright. Get that man. Spear him. Peg him! Peg! Oh, wrong button. Sorry. Peg that man! Hey. People on here get all salty upset when people talk about their own skills. Oh, really? I mean, like, I can see if people, like, are weird about it, but you weren't weird about it, you know? You're just like, hey, I want to do something nice about you. But, or nice about you. Nice for you. But there's, like, some people that, like, that get, like, weird about it, you know? Not you. Not you. Not you! Rooster! Caw-caw! Rooster. Mwah. Think with a forehead kiss. Oh, his totem is up. His hex totem. He did the hook 3 different survivors. So now he has his hex totem up. What was the hex totem again? What did his hex totem do again? It was hex STD. That's what Asher calls it. I'm gonna do this and get this palette back up because it's funny. But what does hex STD do again? I don't remember. Go. Asher, I wasn't sure if you were here, and I was hoping you were still here. Oh, there it is! Cool. Hex STD? Yeah, Asher called it that. What's it called? So it's called, it's Hex Scared to Death. That's what the actual name is called. But Asher came up with this really funny acronym for it. Oh. You have another totem? Hey. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No! Ah! Oh, it's so scary. Hey! 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 Whoa! I've been impaled. Ah! Stop. Stop that. This just in. Popular streamer calls for Maurice to be replaced with Peggy's. Yeah. Did you just call me popular? Or are you talking about someone else? And I'm like in my head. In your head. Ow! Disco Queen! Mwah. Thank you for the forehead, Kissy. That's elusive. The little bunny is elusive. They thought I was trying to sell stuff? Oh! I understand. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. Them graphic artists be making bad names for everybody. Hey, your emotes suck. Hire me, and I'll draw better emotes for you. And it's like, you're the one who drew those emotes in the first place. It's like, how dare you? Do we think this guy has a Lightborn? Do you guys hear me? I'm like, Gabriel, chill. How dare? In your head, in your head. Bye, Loki! Loki, I hope you have the best night ever. Bye. Everyone say, bye, Loki! We love you! Stop. Stop that. Okay. So when I'm walking on his like little markies, I get elusive for 5 seconds. And then these footsteps are when he's in his spirit mode. Omnipresent evil. Evil! There's You know what? I need someone to do an edit of Mermaid Man from SpongeBob saying, evil! Oh my god! Yeah, but those are so cute though. Twitch did a really good job making those emotes, Shadow. Yeah, right? Condensed Milk. I had someone reach out to me on Instagram, YouTube, and my VOD channel on YouTube, saying, your SEO search engine stuff sucks, your YouTube. Like, I'm an SEO expert, and I can make, because like, your YouTube video views suck. I can make your views so much better, hire me. And it's like, he was so rude, and he commented on like 3 different YouTube videos, and in my VOD channel, commented on my Instagram videos, messaged me on Instagram. I was like, Jesus. So this is really cool. The the lend a hand, my right perk, my rightmost perk. That's lend a hand. After you cleanse. Wow! Ugh! Guys, tell Beeswax he's such an onk. He called me old earlier. I'm joking. What's up, Beeswax? Oh my god, look at how hot and tall and talented and handsome he is. What's up, Kayla? Kayla. Mwah. What's up, Field Agent Reaper? Reaper, how was your stream last night? Hi, Ghoulish Bunny. What's up, Suburban? Wait, hold on. We can talk about this. Hey. Hey. Ah! Oh. That's exactly what I wanted to do. No. Yippee. No. His vision is based on movement. Oh god! No! Oh, that was not good. That's alright. We'll be fine. Oh, I could have done it. 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 Okay, that's fine. It was good vibes. Good. A B. When the editor ones tell me they can make better videos than edit all mine, yeah, right? We're all old. Hi, Suburban Banshee. Welcome, invaders. My name is PixelxKitten, and ad is about to start in 20 seconds. I think not. Snooze. Go to sleep. Oh, sorry. I gotta snooze all these things. Okay, there we go. Welcome, invaders. My name is PixelxKitten. I'm a full-time variety streamer who plays a lot of video games poorly and streams them on the internet. I'm also a DBD creator because I accidentally got my way in that program. Yep. And we are just doing PTB Jason shenanigans. We did one game of him with bots. I did not try waiting in the queue for like an actual game. Bees, did you play any actual games? I know you were doing some customs when I was doing my editing earlier. But what the heck in honkin' hootering were you up to? All stream. Also, if you need to go raid and run, just ignore the heck out of me and go get your post-stream self-care. Friends, please go get your post-stream self-care. Get your post-stream stretchies, bathroom breaks, namis, and bevies. Go eco, pico, puko, stretch, drink. That's right, Killer Gauntlet. Where are you at in the Killer Gauntlet, by the way? Like, how far are you? Yeah, I think customs is definitely the way to go for the killer right now because, I mean, the blood point bonus for a survivor right now is like 3.5 bonus. So it's like, I imagine those killer queues are rough. What happened? What did you do? Well, welcome in, homies. Also, thank you so much for the follows. I do have anonymous follows on, but I see you and I appreciate you. Oh, guys, what happened to Bees? What did you do? What happened? I am Unk Kitten. Tell me your woes. Oh. Condensed milk. Enjoy your lurky turkey, sweet angel. Oh, and we're also drinking our Jason Voorhees G Fuel right now because we are so on brand. Yum. Tastes like a 4K. Ew, that's weird. I'm in a really weird mood today. I had something horrible happen to me a couple days ago. And, like just family stuff. And, I've been like crying, like, you know, and today's like my off day because I need to take care of something tomorrow. So I normally stream tomorrow on Wednesdays, and I don't normally stream on Tuesdays, and I don't normally stream this early. So it's like, it feels like, you know, you guys ever go to work on one of your days off? Like if you like work at like at a brick and mortar or something, and like a retail job or something or a restaurant, and you working on your days off, or like you come in to like pick up your check at a day off or something like that. I want him to mori me. Come, Jason, come. Mori me. Mori me. Alright. Whoa! Oh, I wanted to get impaled. But you ever go to like your job on a day where you're not working, and you just like feel like a silly goofy goober? That's how I feel right now. More hugs? Thank you. Hugs for anybody who needs it. Unless you guys don't want the hug, you guys can double it and give it to the next person. JJ's! What did he have? He did have Lightborn. He's like, I'm not gonna get fucked up today. Also, I do have 2 dogs and 3 cats. Here's 50% of my dog population. Say hi, Boo. Say hi, Boo. It's his birthday next month. Dizzle! Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Oh, Dizzle, you don't have to be nice to me. Hey. Hey. No network connection is crazy. Am I still streaming? There were some crazy PTB issues earlier. Oi, chamoy. You better let me back in this PTB, I swear to God. Bloody drummer boy. Mwah, thank you for the forehead, Kiki. I'm still streaming, right? Looks like we've dropped 0.2% of frames for the stream today. That's right. At least it was kind enough to wait until we were done with the game before it kicked me out. Thanks, Dead by Daylight. Oh, we're not doing open lobbies, Cake. I'm so sorry, love. No open lobbies. I'll put it in the stream title for we're doing open lobbies, though. Hello, Lobster. Lobster71689. Happy Tuesday. Or happy Wednesday if we have any Kiwis or Aussies in chat. Let me in! Lobster. Mwah, thank you for the forehead kissy. Hi, Bree. Bree. Mwah, thank you for the forehead kissy. What's up, Zaj? Oh, thanks, Zaj. We just got kicked out of the PTB. So, I might try restarting the game if it doesn't let me back in. That's right. We did get, what, 2 hours of content. How dare they kick me out? That's all right. It is not going to be a long stream today, by the way. It's Steam maintenance time. Is it really? I never stream on Tuesdays. I totally forgot that's a thing, Bree. I totally forgot that that's a thing. That's so fun, because I never stream on Tuesdays. Yeah, it just hit 5 p.m. for me, yep. That's so annoying that it affects PTBs. How dare it? Well, damn. Blame Gabe Newell. That's crazy. Damn you, Gabe. Give us Left 4 Dead 3. What? Yeah, it just hit 5 for me. But it's 6 p.m. Eastern time is when they do Steam maintenance. Tuesday, isn't it? Something different is happening. Okay, we're getting in there. Hi, Eclipse! Eclipse. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. CST! Oh, and then they changed my player profile thing. I don't want Jim Bean. Thank you very much. Where's my twins? There she is. Hi, Angel. I love you. Oh, wait. Should I add a banner too? Oh god, what banner do I have right now? Is it kitty related? It's probably cat related, right? Is there a cat? Ah, yes. Yes, evil kitties, yes. Why can't I play the game? Wait, look.
I can't play the game.
It's just Rift Pass or bust. That's crazy. What? You what? Alright, well, I suppose I will be restarting Steam. Alright, let me... Oh, I can't even quit the game. I have to Alt F4. Okay. Bye, Dead by Daylight. Alright, well, that's not going to open ever again. We'll try again. Try again. You're getting a puppy? What kind of puppy? Sorry, East Coast? Oh, you don't have to apologize. I feel like East Coast is, like, the most popular, like, time zone. Because that's, like, what most people, like, defer to. At least, like, in every professional aspect of my life, everyone always, like, just defaults to Eastern time. And it's only an hour ahead of me, so... Time zone math is pretty easy. Even a college dropout like me can figure out. Yeah. I feel like I mostly think in Eastern time zone. West Coast, West Coast? Huh? Have a good day! Have a good day, Zaj. Thank you very much for shopping and saying all those nice things. That's so sweet of you. Let's check my TikTok and see how that's doing. All right. Ooh, we can play again. Yippee! All right, cool. Oh, yeah. Are we thinking pixel time zone? Gabby, mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissing. Oh! Wait, Bees, tell us. Tell us what happened. What happened, sweet summer child? I'm sad. Should we do another Survivor game, or should we try to load up as Jason in like an actual QA way? Or should we do more Survivor things? Bees, shut up. What killer did you lose it at? So wait, so what's your checkpoint now then? Oh, you're joking. Pig! Fuck pig! I used to be a pig main when I first started playing DBD. I was a hag and pin main when I first started playing DBD. But fuck pig! How dare she ruin that for you? So you're doing the killer gauntlet, right? So you were playing as pig? So wait, what do you reset back to? Like, what is each checkpoint 10, 20, 30? Is that what the checkpoints are? Or is it every 5? I didn't really look into it. I'm sorry. Destiny, mwah. Think of the forehead kissy. I'm laughing with you, not at you. Guys, I need at least 10 of you to follow Bees to get him to give penance for the 10 killers that he has to replay again. That's so sad. I'm so sorry, sweet angel. Yeah. So did you end as soon as did you end stream as soon as you lost it? You're joking. Of Dark Theory of all perks. Oh, that's okay. Destiny, I appreciate you lurking. That really is very sweet of you. I appreciate that. Well, let me try loading up as Jason and see how long these queues are. Oh! I could do play while you wait! Wonderful. Alright, well, we're going back to Gabriel. How's PTB? Fantastic. Shadow Prime. We just got kicked out for Steam maintenance, but we're back in, so we're Gucci. Appreciate you. I appreciate you, Moist. Followed. Ah! Eclipse, you will not regret it. You will not regret it. I seriously, thank you so much to Raid Bees. You're so sweet. Did I do a raid trailer? Chat, did I do a raid trailer? I don't think I did. Budge! This game just seems like just a bunch of cheap jump scares. What in the M. Night Shyamalan signs is this?
She had seen during her time with
Boobies!
the cult.
Honkin' tibbies! Those are knockers! I actually kind of want to stay in the screen again. God, is that the hatch right there? Yo, speedrun. Because I might have a big butt, but I got a small brain.
Okay, crawl.
I love your titsy stuff. Thanks. Thanks for the raid. Hi, Spades! How's the PTB? Amazing. What were you doing? Spade System, who was just streaming. Hi, cute as a button. Cute as a button. Mwah. Thank you for your forehead, kissy. Sorry, I was trying to answer a comment on TikTok. I love you, Moist Bees. Don't be nice to me. Oh, come. Yeah, the PTB is so much fun. What were you doing, Spades? Tell me after you've done eating, actually. Can you guys please go eat? If you guys just coming out from a raid or just coming off of a stream, can you guys please go eat something? I had a hot dog before a stream. I had a glizzy. They're so good. And I had un salad for breakfast. Let's be nice to Pixel. I'm gonna come everywhere. Mama J! Mwah. Speaking of coming everywhere, I'm just joking. Hi, Mama J. Mwah! Thank you for the forehead kissy. I'll be doing so good, sweet summer child. Hey, yo! Hey. Hey. I'm sorry, I'm in a really weird mood. You're the most, oh, Destiny, you don't have to lie to me, it's alright. I'm joking, Destiny, you're so sweet. And respectfully, no, you. What is that? Okay, sorry. Yo, I want to get chased by the killer. No, you! You can't know you, I know you. I really, really want to be on like a mid-witch map, either with Jason or as Jason. You know what I mean? Oop. If I expected anything less, I'd go somewhere else. Oh, like my flirting with you? Michonne, I could hear you from all the way over here. You're so loud! I can heal you now. I promise it'll be worth it. There you go. See? Done. Look at that. Look at that. I'm hacking. Hack. Lend a hand. Where is your care radius, Mama? Oh. Ah, what if? What if he walked through? That would have been so cool. Hi, baby boy. I've never been weird ever in my entire life, Mama J. What do you mean? He has killer instinct. Oh no. Urina. Jason carried me like that. Ayo, I want to catch this magmar. Okay. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? It is really satisfying watching Jason because you know how like in you know, like with most killers, they do be breaking things. Oh man, they do be breaking things with like 2 kicks. Jason's such a big boy that he only kicks things with 1 kick. He only needs 1 big. Look at my butt. Look at my butt. That's shaped like a brick. Ow. So, look at you. There he goes. Oh, that's so scary. And your TV. Tomorrow's your birthday. Everyone say, happy birthday, Aspen. Aspen, I hope you have the best birthday ever. Have a good night. He's whispering and get Yankee. That's so funny. I've never heard that before, and I'm never going to be able to unhear that. That's so funny. What's up, Demon Hybrid? Yo, happy Jason Day. Oh, his Scared to Death is up. His Hex STD is up. We need to find his Hex STD. Oh, I forgot I had life. Yeah, Gremlins! Have you... What are you most excited about with the PTB so far with him? Like with his power. Or perks or whatever. Punch on 400, as it should be. Get her ass. Impale her. Yes. No. Oh, shit. Oh, damn! I was gonna vault it. I was gonna vault it so I can make it come back. You know what I mean? Hey! No, bail me! Oh! Wait, hold on. Shh. Wow, look how fast you're healing me. That is so fast. What was I saying? I don't remember. Oh, I'm scared. I'm running. I'm scared. I'm running. Where think is above me. Whoa, Serena, watch out! Serena! Welcome back, Escape. Bassman, I hope you have a very happy birthday. Oh, I see. You're taking your luck. How'd that work out for you? Oh, don't heal me. No, Angel. He's gonna come right back. I'm glad that we finally got a Jason who's using like his omnipresent evil mode though. I'm really glad. Oh, we saw. Yes. Oh no. Okay, but I did take the hit for her. So yippee! So it is kind of like Spirit. Okay, I missed the window. Okay, my bad. It is kind of like Spirit where you can see the grass move a little bit while he's in his thingy. So that's cool. So we did know he was gonna be there. I did have to take the hit for Michonne though. It is cool that's like Wesker, where he hit both us and she got into the mend state. Oh, Michonne. Don't make my hit be for nothing. She didn't get very far. Like his no terror radius perk sounds interesting, and as a jump scare girly. Oh, what is it? Wait, which one is that one? I want to see how that works at endgame, because in the endgame it doesn't say like when all 5 generators are done, it doesn't say how long you're undetectable for. It just says you become undetectable when all 5 generators are done. It doesn't say like a time limit like how in the beginning where you're only undetectable for 13 seconds. Right? So it's like, are you undetectable for 13 seconds again? Like, but it didn't say 13, it just says you become undetectable, you know? So, I'm curious. I'm very curious. I'm gonna do this gen with you. What did we get for food? Serena, no! Oh, you're gonna get Mori. No Mori. Boo. Drop her. Mori. Yes! Mori! 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 Go, got her ass. Shrimp cocktail. Shrimp cocktail is the name of my penis. Exactly! Gremlin, because imagine that combined with Noed. Because you get the haste, and you get the one hit down with Noed, and you get the undetectable. That'd be so annoying. But like devilishly fun if you're killer. You know what I mean? I'm very interested to see. Yo! J-Zone! J-Zone, thank you so much for the raid! Welcome in, raiders! J-Zone, how was your stream? Welcome in. And machine learning. Don't even get me started on how much I love machine learning. Machine learning, before they changed it though, God, give me back my old machine learning or give me death. I love Jason so far. I think he's so fun to play as. I think he's so fun to play against. He's just very satisfying. And like people have been saying, very balanced, I've been noticing. But J-Zone, how was your stream? J-Zone, what were you up to? What were you up to? Hope you're having an awesome Tuesday. It was great fun. We played Repo and Fortnite. Big ol' fun time. Hell yeah. Welcome in, Raiders. My name is PixelxKitten. We are currently playing the Jason PTB public test beta, public test build for Jason on Dead by Daylight. Yes, it is Jason. Friday the 13th, Jason. And it's so much fun. I'm having the best time. Not just the one you kick specifically. What was the other change that they did too? They did another change recently. I miss running my endgame Nemi. Yeah, see, Ghost Gremlins, you got me. Because I love running machine learning on Nemesis. You know what I mean? I love a stealth Nemesis. Nothing's funnier to me than making the most, like, least sneaky killer with like his big old stompy stomps. His big old stompy stomps, like making him become like. Anyways. Yeah, gotta do this. I'll teach you a lesson. Oh, I'm still impaled. Okay. Hey guys. Why are you so fast? Oh, okay. This is awkward. Damn it. I really want to get like impaled though, you know what I mean? You're gonna board me! Don't nod! Don't let this happen! Don't let this happen! God, that's so fun. I love it. They need to bring Predator into DBD. A lot of people want Predator. I mean, it makes sense. We got Alien, we got like every other like horror icon, right? Batteries, No Way Out, and No Ed. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Batteries Included is so good. I think Batteries Included is so slept on for a lot of people. Was saying that we need to bring Predator in DVD, especially with Alien already in it. A Fred said that Alien versus Predator is 2v8, and I'm wondering if we can get a Freddy versus Jason in 2v8 J-Zone. Can you imagine? Oh, could you imagine? A Freddy versus Jason. Yeah, Alien versus Predator I think would be so fun. Estimated queue time, 5 minutes to be a killer. Do you guys mind if I go pee really quickly? I'm gonna go pee really quickly, and then hopefully when I come back, I'll be able to play as Jacine. Alright, I'm gonna go pee. I will be right back. Don't do anything I wanna do.
You're dead, though.
You're dead.
You guys are assuming I'm gonna get caught.
You right? You right?
Was there like a trap? Oh, there's a trap right here. Okay, bye. What's up, brah? Hello. W message. Hello. There's someone in Wiki Way, but they don't nearly taste as weird. Interesting. Well, it also might be like an America thing, because like I feel like America's like chocolate is like shit. The gates are done? Or not the gates are done. The gens are done? Oh my god. Guys, I touched one generator. He doesn't want the sauce, guys. He doesn't want the sauce. Kit Kats are so good. Yeah, America just has like really like shit overprocessed garbage. However, speaking of which, hey Raven, if you want to try some American candy, I'll send some to you. Damn. Wait, this heal's going pretty slow, even with a medkit. Oh, I thought he would go for me. Damn, sorry, Pugman. Damn, that's funny as shit. Alright, well, I guess I'll go save my friends or something. Oh my god, I'm gonna step in a trap, though. Kit Kats are good. Kit Kats are always good. I don't think I've ever had a bad Kit Kat. Yo, don't they have, like, a bunch of, like, different, like, flavored Kit Kats? Like, you get, like, a strawberry, like, flavored one, like, a matcha flavored one. I would like that. Oh, God! Did I just... Guys, did I just smack both killers? No! Nah! Did I just get both killers? Can someone go back and see if I got both of them? Best pee ever. It still says 5-minute wait. I feel like I was gone for at least, like, 2 minutes. They do some different flavors, especially in the chunky Kit Kats. So I've never had like a special flavored Kit Kat. Like I've had like a Halloween white chocolate one, and I've had and I hate white chocolate. Ugh. But it was like a mixed bag with like the regular Kit Kats. And then I had I had this one. Oh, it was another Halloween one. It was like waffle or something flavored. I don't know, or like pancakes or something. I don't know. It was a really good flavor. I might have like one left upstairs in my kitchen little candy bowl. It was so good though. Made like French toast. I think it was like French toast flavored. It was so good. But I've never had any like fancy flavored ones, and I really want to try them. And there's this like Korean grocery store called H Mart that I thought would have like a bunch of Kit Kats, and they have like some Kit Kats, but they only have like 2 flavors. It's like matcha and like dark chocolate. And it was like they're really expensive, and I was like, I don't want to try them. Should I eat banana bread? Yeah, God, yeah, fuck yeah. At any time there's banana bread in your vicinity and you can eat it, yes. Sure, they have or had a salted caramel one. I would eat the heck out of that. A peanut butter Kit Kat? I have never heard of that, and there's few things that go together better in this world than chocolate and peanut butter. I'm a chocolate peanut butter slut. Oh my god, so good. Welcome back. Thank you, Mr. Rare. I'm gonna get banana bread. Fuck. So, well, you're probably leaving, but is it like homemade? Like someone in like your like living residence has it made, or are you like gonna go out and buy it? Kit Kat chunky peanut butter. How do I just get, like, one? It is expensive as fuck, though. Yeah. I do see that it exists, though. Holy, how do I just get, like, 1 bar? Strawberries last night? Just berries? This probably kind of gross. My favorite craving food is dark chocolate and sharp. Oh, you know what? I am not going to judge that, Destiny. Because you know what? I think there are worse combos. Just berries? Oops, all berries. Guys, let's play an ad. Maybe I'll wait until we get into a game. Because it starts in 4 minutes. And it says estimate queue time 5 minutes. But I don't think it's 5 minutes. I think it's a lot longer. Go get your banana bread, Timothy. I think I have a couple more blackberries left. Like a handful of blackberries left, and that's it. I think I could get more this week, though. Oh, I have to get them tomorrow because the sale ends tomorrow. Will do, Dad? Thank you, son. Get some for me, too. Oh, man, I forgot to change my calendar. It's the 26th. It's not the 25th anymore. Do you guys like my calendar? My little Nazgul calendar. It's the 26th. Is that a 6? Or is that a 9? Oh, I'm sure it's tomato. There you go. May 26th. Cookie dough flavor? Shut up. Well, you're... J-Zone, correct me if I'm wrong. You're Australian, eh? Right? What am I hearing? Oh my god, my Spotify. I thought, like, people were saying, like, words in my head, and oh my god, that was so scary. Oh my god, I forgot I was listening to Spotify. Oh, you're UK! Close enough. I'm joking. Okay, that's right. Okay. Ugh. Yes, I got the shakes! Let's go! Oh, Jason, let me play a game, please. Jason Voorhees. Let me play a game. I just have my regular, yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna add Noed to this. I'm gonna add Noed. So it's, so this is the build I'm gonna do. His Rampage, Silent Shadow, Hex, STD, and then, oh, that's what it does. Well, Chase Survivor, whenever you basic break a pallet survivors. Okay, that's what it is. That's not really that great, is it? And then Noed. Cool. Alright, we'll do that. We will do that for our build. Should I just do another Survivor game? I mean, might as well, right? Alright, well, let me play an ad then. Ad now, no ad in game. Jump scare Voorhees. That's cute. I like that, Wolf. Ow! And I think we just have the same builds with Gabriel, which is, so my build of Gabriel is all of the new Survivor perks, and then I added Lithe to it. So cross-examination, lend a hand, and wide open throttle. Ladies. 39 degrees. Ah! It is... Ooh. It is almost 90 degrees here. But in freedom units, not Celsius. And you love him! I haven't... Oh, I should probably ready up. But I've played him in a custom game so far, and that's the only thing I've did. I'm queuing up in, like, a real queue right now, but it's taking a while, isn't it? Of course, I'm not surprised by it. Everyone and their mother wants to play as Jason right now. But thank gosh they have the play while you wait. Yeah, my AC is cranked right now. I was wearing sweatpants earlier when I was walking my dogs when I first woke up. It was like, I think I woke up at 9. And I walked my dogs and I was in sweatpants. It was already like almost 80 degrees. I was like dying. It was like, ugh. This guy's name is Baja Blaster. That's so funny. What's up, Tyler? Tyler, happy Tuesday. Right, going to go and make the Mrs. a toasty. Hey, have a great rest of your day, J-Zone. J-Zone, thank you so much for raid. I appreciate you so much. Have the best rest of your evening. I hope you stay cool. I know that UK summer heat is crazy, so please stay cool. Take care of yourself. What's up, Santa? The games are going great. Got a Trapper, Huntress, and Hag. Oh, you think so? I was thinking more Springtrap, Spirit. That's what I was thinking. But I could totally see that, though, Wolf. Tyler, mwah. Thank you for the forehead, Kissy. I'm gonna say, though, if I do load into a killer and it's not Jason, I will be DCing. Like, not because I'm angry, but just, like I'm not, like, gonna anger DC, but just because I just want to play against Jason. Live, laugh, love, Hag. Hag is great. I was just telling Bees that, Hag and Pig were my first killer mains when I first started playing this game. I don't know why. I just really like them. And then I eventually moved my way to, in order, Twins, Nemesis, Springtrap, Dragon Set Ablaze. Thank you for the forehead, Kissy. Happy Tuesday. I'm trying to look for, like, a scrap pile to make sure it's Jason. We're not in our omnipresent evil. Oh, here we go. It is Jason. Oh, okay. He said, that's an infinite. He said, I'm good. The spear throw is so satisfying. It's very satisfying. Did you? Oh my god. I wonder if we'll be able to do some giveaways once he actually comes out. That'd be really cool. I don't have any expectations because it is, like, the 10-year anniversary, so I have zero expectations, but I would think it'd be so cool if we can do some giveaways. We'll see. We'll see what they do. But I have no expectations. Hi, Spaces TVs. You doing your Stipper Stomper? Oh, mine apparently is out for delivery, but nothing's been delivered yet. Yeah, cool. I can't wait. I can't wait to get my Stepper on. That's so cool. Oh, I'm so excited to get it, Spades. You have no idea. You don't have to, like, plug it in or anything. I'm sorry. It's probably, like, annoying to type on your phone or your TV while you're doing it, but... And you don't have to answer if it's inconvenient. But you don't have to, like, plug it in or anything, do you? I didn't even look. Hopefully you don't have to plug it in. Hopefully you just, like, step. But if you have to plug it in, fine. I already have, like, my treadmill upstairs. So I just unplug that and plug that in. Hello, lovely. Oh, dang it. You take the credit for doing my gen. It's mechanical. Oh. Battery powered. Cool. Okay, cool. Thank you. You're so hot. For so many reasons. forgot. What does elusive even do? I'll let him bugger off, and then I'll go get her, get the save. And this is probably good because I can do my healing thing for her too. Lend a hand, as it were. I like this cosmetic for her. So, yeah, I really like this lend a hand. I think this is going to be really strong, especially in Swifts, because it says 1 survivor per game. So that means 4 survivors can have this lend a hand. 4 survivors can have this lend a hand. What? Yeah. Whoa! Look how far back I got pushed! I'm scared. I'm scared. Why? Yeah. Yeah. I think this is a better direction for me. Ha! Eat. Eat that. Alright, he's gonna have another thing. What? Yike! Yike! It's one of the more... I honestly, Wolf, I was shocked that the Mori is as graphic as it is, especially because, like, I know that they tend to not keep their Moris as graphic so that, like, they don't, like, get in trouble with other, like, countries, you know? With, like, their levels of what they allow to be shown in video games as far as, like, blood, gore, and awful and things like that. But, I'm very impressed with the Mori. I'm very, very impressed with it. Oh, could you imagine a Camp Crystal Lake map? Could you imagine? Who knows what could happen in the future? But at least we have him now, and I think that that's important. Is that at least we have him now, right? Yeah, a new map would have been so cool. Yeah, Milkman, right? Totally. Ooh. Hex STD. It isn't, like, the most important, like, totem to get rid of, because it's not, like, too crazy of an hindrance, this totem. But I'm always down for a good... I'm always down to tickle a good totem, you know what I mean? A good hexy. Asher, I'm so sorry, I told you. Yeah, Wolf, could you imagine Girly Pop? I really don't think we should, yeah. See, that's what I told you. No, go get him. Oh, that was smart. That was smart, sweet summer child. That was so smart, lovely. I blame Steven. Yeah. I don't know why he wanted to... While we're in omnipresent mode, he wanted to heal in basement. But hey, you know what? You do you. Watch him in endgame chat and be like, why didn't you heal me? That would have been so funny. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? What are you doing? I know it's the PTB, but son, what are we doing? Son, what are we doing? Yeah, Freddy versus Freddy and Jason. Sorry, it's like my knee-jerk reaction to say Freddy versus Jason, right? It's my knee-jerk reaction. So eerie. How he just backs into the fog. So cool. I love it. Oh, that'd be the cutest little, like, couples e-dater thing to do. Freddy and Jason. How fun. God, could you imagine just Freddy in 2v8 with his, like, blood pools things? Oh, thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Oh, thank you. You're so cute. Thank you, love. Yeah, it's like pools of blood or whatever. Ooh, I think we should go. Yeah? We could heal. No? Alright. I don't know if, I think the Steven would just be like faffing about. It is a PTB, so like who cares, right? I was even gonna save. What was that sound? You don't hear me. You don't hear me. You don't hear me. I know Gabriel's really loud, but you don't hear me. Ah! Okay, there's the scared to death. Where we scream. And we're leaving. Woo! Woo. Oh, someone did it to me. Someone lended me a hand. Cool. It's the first time someone's done it on me. Cool beans. That's awesome. Sorry, I already used my lend a hand. Sorry, lovely. I used it on whoever just went down, I think. Did I? I think I did. I don't remember. Well, I guess we could do the shock gen, eh? God, this is so much fun. I'm hoping that I could play Jason after this. Actually, I don't want to be here anymore. Not with he's in omnipresent mode, you know what I mean? Okay, we're good. Yeah, I read that. Why did I? You know, that worked out for me. That worked out beautifully. I'm okay with that. I missed my window, but it worked out. Yeah. I'm wondering what's more obvious. I'm wondering if my, like, red fog is more obvious, or if, like, the feet moving is more obvious, you know? Oh, no, love bug. No, love bug. Okay. Oh! Nice! Yippee! Wait, are you mad? Okay, no, I think those are happy clicks. I think those are happy clicks. Are they happy? Are you happy? I can't tell, Baja Blaster. I hope she's happy with me. I like to make my ladies happy. Alright, let's find another gem. Oh, yeah, I did do it to the Yui. Okay. I did lend her a hand. That's right, because I cleansed that totem that I unhooked her. Okay. I remember. Oh, that gen's already done. Oh, that gen's not done. We'll do this gen. May I have some assistance? Thank you. What's up, Pixel Bro? Oh, you're home from work. Let's run! Let's go, girls. He's gonna want me, right? Why, Sheboygan? Ooh. Run, forest, run, forest, run, forest, run. Oh, I want to find his STD, though. Oh, let's get that pallet up. Nice. Your show. Yes! Oh, what's up, dead inside? It was like, there's no way you're mad, right? Yeah. I was like, there's gotta be happy clicks. I was like, she's gotta be happy. I've never had anyone happy click to me. I usually get angry clicks. Can I? Can I? Can I? Oh! Do you think he's gonna be okay? Oh! His gas can came up! Yikes! Oh! Ah! Yeah, there it is. Yep. Oh, look how far I'm crawling. Look how far. He's gonna bury me! Oh, no gas can for me. Yo, let's go. Yo, hell yeah. That was so much fun. Please let me be Jason now. Please. Cookies and whiskey? Oh my god, so cute. GG's. Let's see what happens. Cooked chimpkin! Yummy! Yum, yum. Well, that was hot. What am I gonna have for dinner? I'll probably have a cook unity meal. Ooh. Aww. That's alright. We didn't see that. We didn't see it. You go save her. No! Oh, your Baja's about to get blasted. Whoa. So I wonder if it's just in the Mori cinematic that we don't see the gas can, because I think when you're watching the gas can external, or we're watching the Mori externally, you can see the gas can. GG's. Please let me load in as Jason. It says 0 seconds. I can count that high. Yes! Came back with ramen. Ooh, okay. GG's dead inside. Also dead inside. I love your name too. Everyone say GG's dead inside. That was a fun game. Run, Joey, run. Joey, run. Joey, run. Oh, if you guys just heard my stomach growl, sorry, I am hungry. I only had one glizzy before stream. I love hot dogs. You hungry? I'm hungry and shit. I didn't even realize that was a segue. That's so funny. But GG's dead inside. GG's. All right, we're gonna play this and then we're going to raid out because Yogoyle only wanted to stream for 2 hours and we're on hour number 3. You hungry and shit? I'm gonna have to rewatch it to see how she says it again because that was so funny. I did repeat it a couple times when you sent me the video. All right. It's gonna be cool to see who to raid today though, because I don't stream on Tuesdays and I normally start stream around this time as opposed to end, so this will be very interesting. Oh, I'm gonna eat. Girl, I love food. Always be eating. That's my motto. I'm so excited. So I'm gonna be playing Jason against real people. I do have no at that on though, so I want to see how I hope we get to the end game where all the gens get done. I'm sure we will because, you know, we're going against real people and I'm gonna get spanked. Let me have some G Fuel. Guys, use code Kitten. Get some hack and slash G Fuel. Okay, this could be fun because of all the windows. Here we go. There we go. He has life. Perfect, perfecto. I was not holding shift the entire time because I was trying to sprint. Oh, I am desperate, Gremlins, for... Oh, okay. I'm desperate for... Midwich. Ooh, nice dodge. Nice duck, dive, dip, dive, and dodge. You know what I mean? Yo, this is such a good hallway! Oh, I need, yes! Gimme! Gimme! Yes. Oh, you can't pick that up very quickly, can you? Oh! Okay, that worked out. Okay, okay, okay. I hear you on the gen, damn it! Oh no, you're so Tom! I'm so sorry. sorry, Tom. I'm so sorry. Yeah, get out of here, Tom. Don't watch. Don't watch me. I get shy. Oh, I missed because I'm stupid. Nice. Nice. Break this perk or pallet because then I get a token, right? Yeah. Cool. Break this. Do this. What? Oh! Whoa! Oh my god. Kate, you scared me. Oh. Hello, lovely. She's got sprint burst. Oh, I forgot I don't have a thing. Why don't I have a thing? Oh. I thought I avoided that. With all shaking thunder, could you imagine? Alright, where are my piles of wood? Oh, you know, or, you know what I mean. There we go. Oh, I hear someone breathing really, really loud next to me. Nice. Nice. He does a very satisfying lunge, doesn't he? Is that, am I getting pebbled? Oh, behind me. What? Watch out! Oh man, that killer instinct. Oh, and what about Ant Coop? That killer instinct with the indoor map is so good. Ooh, it's so good. Oh, it's lovely, isn't it? Oh, back to Hooker. Absolutely fucking right I am. Aha. Perfect. Perfecto. Perfecto. Beautiful. I wonder if she just got like turned around there. That's why she ran into me. B-E-A beautiful. I still need to find the Sable. I've only injured her. I haven't really like found her though. Oh, and my my Hex STD is up! So speed, so fast. Let's go back to Hook. Someone's got to be unhooking soon, right? Yep, right here. Look at that. Killer instinct. Oh, I wanted her to go straight because I wanted to see her get her ass. Nice. Sable, come back, Angel. I'm on someone's ass. Yes. Sable? Yes. There she is. You almost let her die. Nice! There we go. And we should be able to get her down too. Perfect. B-E-A beautiful. Cool beans. I was hoping to get the Sable. Cool beans. Adri! Mwah. Think with a forehead kissy. Oh, he is fantastic. I am having the time of my life playing him. He's so much fun. are you doing? Happy Tuesday, Dandy. Good evening. Good evening. Oh, someone's injured. I hear you. My little kitten, I hear you. Oh, I was hoping she'd take the window. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. But it worked out. I mean to switch sides is what I didn't mean to do. Nice. Good window, good window. Good girl, good girl. I want to mow right here. Oh, good girl! I need to get this. There you go. Yeah, she's gotta book it. Oh, God, I suck at this game, guys. That's alright, now she's locked in. Perfect. Yeah, she can't go anywhere now. Why are you so fast? You're so fucking fast, Jesus! Alright, now we get the killer. Yippee! Oh, my chances been alright! I hope you're doing so good. Yeah, we're streaming today, not tomorrow, because I had a family thing happen this week, so I'm taking care of the family thing tomorrow. And, oh. That was cool. Oh! Oh, I could pick that up too. Cool. I was wondering I could pick that up. Cool. Now we have no Ed. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Oh, there's nowhere to spawn here. Oh, there we go. Someone's upstairs? Yeah, but someone's right here, so we need to get this guy. Hello. Undetectable! Undetectable. Let's go. Hell yeah. Beautiful. We are still undetectable. We are still undetectable. So, it's all the time. It's the entire time, Gremlin. It's the entire time. You're undetectable your entire time. Oh, here we go, here we go, here we go. I don't have, like, loot bag or anything, so I can't, like, Oh, oh, oh. Oh, I was so close. Nice. That was awesome. Oh, that was so much fun. I can't believe that is undetectable the entire time. When all generators are done, you gain undetectable for the entire end of the game. That was so cool. That was awesome. GG's. I need it immediately. Being undetectable for the entire end game? Okay, I'm like kind of like shaking a little bit because I haven't really played a lot of killer games. That was like exhilarating. Oh my god. Lore accurate Jason. Whoa. End game, anything. Thirds. Oh, Trail of Torment. Oh my god. That's kind of insane. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even mad about it. You are just undetectable for the entire end of the game. It is so much more incentive to, like, do those gens, you know what I mean? Holy. Oh, man. That's awesome. That's so cool. Because, what is it? No Way Out, right? No Way Out, and then... I already forgot what's it called. Silent Shadow? Yeah. No Way Out and Silent Shadow. Right? Or Remember Me, No Way Out, Silent Shadow, No Ed. Boom. She's cooking! Like, they're never getting out, especially with his teleportation, or like his omnipresent evil, like teleportation mode, or blood warded. See, what is Secret Project? What is that? Whenever a totem is blessed or cleansed, a random unblocked generator is blocked for 30 seconds. Whenever one or more generators are blocked, you gain undetectable for 30 seconds. Holy, Thrilly Tremors, oh my god. With that, yeah. I don't think I've ever used that perk, I'm not gonna lie. Holy. Oh, I mean, I guess I did get the Vecna Adept, so I guess I've used it once, but that was insane. That was insane. I'm really gonna enjoy using Silent Shadow because I'm an undetectable slut. I love using undetectable. So much fun. Oh, like, look, like, and I was using Eye Goop the entire time. Gain undetectable for 9 seconds after grabbing a hook spike. I love undetectable. This is definitely gonna be my favorite add-on out of all of them. Eye Goop is definitely gonna be my favorite. This is so much fun. I'm gonna end the stream though. I'm gonna end it because I'm getting really. I just got like really tired like really quickly, and because it's been a long day for me. Yeah, right, Adri? You can ignore the first part of the perk. It's the second part you want to look at that applies to gen cover perks. Oh, when one or more perks are or generators are blocked. Has good evening? No, you has gooder evening. Thank you guys so much. This was so much fun. I am so stoked for this. Oh, thank you. I might take a nap. We'll see. I don't know. I'm kind of like jazzed up a little bit. Cause that like last game was like exhilarating. I hadn't played Killer in a long time. Like that was like really nerve wracking. That Serena was really good. I was like, ah. But I am excited to see whose lives we can rate them. Jennifer Druid! Thank you for the forehead kiss. See, girl, I hate playing Killer. Oh, I know who we could raid. Oh, this is so hard. I have so many homies. Fuck, I have so many homies live right now. Wait, hold on. I never get to raid Nyquist because he always streams before me.
Gosh, are we about to kiss right now?
Mad Eye, you're breaking my heart. I'm about to end. Mad Eye, I hope you're doing so good. Thank you for the tier 2 resub for 30 months. Enjoy your 100. Count them. Your 100 emotes, your ad-free view, and it's your sub match. Frisky, do you know if he's gonna be streaming? Like, I mean, he's been streaming for 4 hours. We can make him stream another game, right? You think he would? I don't know if you know, Frisky. But Matt, I thank you for the tier 2. I am gonna say this another time. I'm so sorry. Please watch my YouTube, guys. Please. I have so many amazing videos uploaded. I know it was gonna be a short stream today, Matt. I'm so sorry. I'm so sleepy. I'm sleepy and hungry. I spent 4 hours recording, editing, and posting videos all morning. They're all over my YouTube mostly. If you guys can pick one video to give love to, please give love to the me Maureen 69 survivors. 69 survivors! And I even went through and I did timestamps for every survivor, so if you guys want to look at, like, you guys want to watch, like, Ashley J. Williams get Maureened over and over again, like me, you guys can watch it. Man, I love you so much. I hope you're doing so good. Thank you so much for the tier 2 resub. Thank you, Age. You're my favorite sub. I'm sorry. But yeah, please, if you guys aren't busy, or if you guys want to see more, you guys remember Stomach Girl? That was so loud. That was really embarrassing. If you guys want to see his perks, his powers, add-ons, Mori, all that jazz, go watch all the YouTube videos, please. And we're gonna go right over to Nyquist. Nyquist is one of the coolest people that I've ever met in God's green earth. He's so hot, so tall, so talented, so handsome, and he is currently playing Jason in the PTB right now, and he's probably gonna maybe play while you wait. I don't know how long he's gonna be streaming for, but he's been streaming for 4 hours, so let's make him stay a little bit longer. Also, Escape, You are the hottest, the tallest, the handsomest, and my favorite person in this entire room right now. Thank you so much for redeeming a compliment, Escape. Also, Leanne's Mountains, thank you so much. Guys, tell the mods how hot and tall and talented and handsome they are. Thank you guys for the raids, the follows, the wallows, the subbies, the wubbies, the titties, the bitties. Huge 2 million bits today. I know it was 2,400 or 1,000, whatever it was. But thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me on my day off. I will not be live tomorrow. I gotta do family stuff. Sad family stuff. But I'll be in the Discord. Make sure you guys hang out in the Discord with us. Watch YouTube. Go hang out with whoever you want who's doing PTB things. But we're gonna go hang out with Nyquist. But I hope you guys have the best night ever. I love you more than my butt. I love you. What do I say? As much as my butt is bigger than my heart. I have a big butt and a small brain. Leave me alone. I love you guys. Bye-bye! Well, that wasn't that scary. Wait, am I not doing the right one?